WIBX.
This is Keeler.
WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Now back to the Keeler Show.
Well, good morning. So a lot to do, and it's a little, especially as you go, different areas will be dealing with snow squalls this morning. Very windy and some snow. I do know in the New Hartford area it was very blustery. Not as bad here in Marcy here this morning, but it varies from area to area. We have a bunch of school delays, and this warning of snow squalls is expected to continue into probably late morning.
Great.
We'll see what happens. So here we go on another day where it's blustery, although the weekend doesn't look to be as snowy now.
Any day this winter, you can either expect frigid sub-zero temperatures or some sort of snow event.
Boom. Yeah, you're
Although it looks somewhat
right.
mild on Saturday and Sunday, 29 and 30.
And initially we were looking at some heavy snow on Saturday, late afternoon, evening into Sunday, and now it's just saying it'll be cloudy. So we'll see what actually happens. Although next week another snow event or two next week.
Bring it on.
Listen, as long as Mother Nature follows through with a really nice spring and summer, you can be as hard of a winter as you want to be. Mm-hmm. Is the way I look at it. But if we end up with a crappy summer, that's it. That's it. I'm going to buy Sangertown Square and create my own world.
You could do your own little ecosystem bubble.
That's right. That's what I'm going to do.
Summer all the time.
Because it's zoned now for residential. You could live there. I mean,
I was having a conversation with somebody about that.
There.
I was having a conversation with somebody about that, if they would be interested in that. And they would, well, yeah, why not? I mean, you almost would be like a little community. You could have everything all there at once, or do you keep some of the stores and some of its apartments? Would it have to all be residential? Would it be like a retirement community? I mean,
the nice thing about that is you could create like what's almost like a little outdoor space,
right?
And with a dome type thing, and they have that where you can have trees growing, like small trees and bushes and stuff. And you're like, I'm outdoors.
Maybe a little rain, like every once in a while.
I'm sure the heating bill might be a little high.
That's Pyramid's problem.
That's right. But nonetheless, right? You could create your. I think the Turning Stone kind of has that. If you go to the Turning Stone, you check your coat. And you're in a controlled environment.
Yeah, you don't ever have to leave.
Yeah. Well, you do. It's like, sir, you're out of money. You have to leave.
You no longer have the deed to your home.
Claudia Tenny says that people are making threats at her office, and therefore she has closed a couple of them.
Yeah, being all of them.
All of her offices have closed?
The story reads that Congresswoman Claudia Tenny says she's made the decision to temporarily close down her offices in the 24th District.
The good news is that's going to save her some money. Right? I mean, she won't have to pay for those. The heat, probably. You can let the heat kind of go a little bit, and staff won't be able to come in. You don't have to pay them. There's no room for...
I think they'd still be paid.
You think so? I don't know. Do you know her?
Remote workers.
You don't know her.
Oh, yeah.
Listen, there's no room for threats or violence or anything like that, and somebody ought to tell her that. But there's no room for it, right? Mm-hmm. There should be none of that. It's disgusting.
3 separate incidents.
Well, and I believe it in Oswego was one of the locations, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Very bad. And I'm not sure that other places other Congress people are getting that, but she is. And you know that I worked for her for a while. And
I am very familiar.
That she loathes me.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that is true.
And it won't come on the program. And
although, have we tried since she moved to a different district?
I'd rather not, really. I mean, in my opinion, it's like the old Hall & Oates song. What was the title of that? She's Gone. Good song. Good song.
Yeah. Better learn how to face it, Bill.
Yeah. Boy, there's a story I want to tell, but I have been advised not to. So, and believe me, she wouldn't want me to tell it. Believe me, but I won't. Because she's gone. It doesn't even matter. Where do you get your forecast from? Saturday night into Sunday, a winter storm with 5 to 8 inches of snow. Maybe you're in Florida now. Boy, I wish, Richard. I just looked at the National Weather Service's forecast this morning, and I glanced at it, and what looked like we were going to be getting into some heavy snow on Saturday night didn't seem to look like that anymore. Let's see what.
Now there's a winter weather advisory in effect from now, or a half hour from now until 10 a.m. tomorrow. So.
10 a.m. tomorrow. But right now, the forecast is simply calling for Saturday night. They are saying now 3 to 5 inches on Saturday night. So there will be. They just haven't issued their winter storm yet. So, Richard, you're always ahead of us.
Right.
You're always amazingly ahead of us. Did you see the story out of Vernon this morning? Which is from the fire department, the fire department in Vernon Center, saying that a former treasurer there, and I think we've had this story, but now we're getting some details. Former treasurer of Vernon Center Fire Department was charged Wednesday with stealing more than $300,000 from the department. 51-year-old Jonelle Rose allegedly stole $309,000 from the volunteer fire department over a 6-year period from May of 2018 until May of last year, according to the office of Comptroller Thomas DiNapoli. Rose wrote fire department checks to cash and deposited checks written to various legitimate fire department vendors into his personal accounts, officials said in a news release. He deposited checks intended for the department into his bank account. Rose used the stolen money to make numerous personal purchases and payments, according to the office, including purchasing cryptocurrency transactions, credit card payments, and cash withdrawals. I wonder if in the mind of someone who does this, in the mind of a person who steals from, and this is awful when you're stealing from a volunteer fire department. They already are struggling. But I wonder if you have that situation. Well, I'm in a lot of trouble. I really need the money. I'm gonna steal it now.
Make some money. Make a profit.
Make the money, and then I'm gonna give it back. And you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna give back just a little bit more.
Yeah.
Maybe that's.
But you could run into some problems with that too, because it's like, there's more money than we're expecting. What happened here?
But you could run into that because it never seems to work out that way, does it?
No, it does not.
You never.
I'm going to put it all on black.
Yeah, and you never win. And then when they do win, do they really put it all back? And the reality is, even if it touches your account, that in itself would be probably thievery. Rose was charged with second-degree grand larceny and arraigned on Wednesday in the Vernon Town Court. The fire department posted on its Facebook page Thursday that it was disheartening to learn that the money intended to protect life and property may have been siphoned off for personal use. And it is brutal. They say they are now adopting proper policies and procedures, ensuring the public funds as well as private donations are used appropriately. I'm assuming in a situation like this, not only will, if found guilty, will you be convicted, but you'll be required to pay it all back.
Yeah. But then again,
do you have it?
Do you have it, and how long until they get it back?
Brutal. What else this morning? Josh Allen. Davey, you got to be quite pleased. Josh Allen was named NFL's MVP.
In a way, I'm very happy, but in a way, I'm totally shocked that he got it. I really thought Lamar Jackson or Saquon Barkley was going to get it.
Here's the truth, okay? But he should have got it last year.
Yeah.
And he didn't, and Lamar Jackson got it. So a lot of people are saying, I feel this may be somewhat of an accurate analysis of it. You know,
do you think it's a makeup? I don't think so. I think he was better this year than he's ever been.
You
got to look at it.
You are right, Bill.
No interceptions. He didn't do any of the crazy the stuff that he's done, like the Superman type things that would sometimes go bad.
That's what a lot of people are saying.
And he had a bad left hand.
Yeah, and he played injured, and he in my opinion, has no responsibility for the Bills not making it into the Super Bowl. He did everything he possibly could do.
Which they should be.
And they should be in the Super Bowl.
That's what other people are saying. I truly believe that when you look at the award, you got to look at it from the standpoint. And he was very, like you had mentioned off the air, he's a class act. There's no doubt about it. Josh Allen is one of the classiest players to ever play the game. Giving credit to his team. But, I mean, without him, what would this Bills team be? A little over 500 team,
would
maybe?
Without him, they would not have made the playoffs.
Yeah.
I mean,
with
7 years
with the Ravens,
he's been here.
With the
It's
Ravens,
the greatest thing ever.
With the Ravens, you have Derrick Henry and a lot of other weapons.
One more story, too, that I think is interesting. Jay Williams, familiar, Davey? Jay Williams played with
he played with Duke and unfortunately had a freak accident on a motorcycle. He got drafted by the Chicago Bulls and ended his career. He ripped into Syracuse on Wednesday night.
Oh, boy.
And this is what he said. And you know what? Syracuse should be listening because they've answered the call when it comes to football. They have not yet when it comes to basketball. He said the talent level needs to be elevated. I think Syracuse fans recognize that. I think the coaching staff recognizes that. The collective for Syracuse basketball also needs to recognize that you're not going to get top-tier talent without having top-tier capital. He said, by the way, that was the reality a few years ago, too. That's been the reality for the last 20 years in Syracuse.
Which he's talking about Boeheim.
Yeah.
This is the second time that he's ripped into Syracuse. He ripped into them earlier in the season. He was on commentary on Wednesday during the game.
Well, I think you're dealing with a team that is just not as talented as the big teams. Now, does that change next year? They have a really good recruiting class coming in, but at the same time, this is the age where colleges are paying for talent, and is Syracuse willing to do that for basketball? Remember, as big as basketball has been in Syracuse, Syracuse is and will always be officially a football school.
And Adrian Autry made this point clear a couple weeks ago. He did not have a general manager last year to handle the NIL money.
Well,
they did hire a general manager this year. He stated that a couple weeks ago in a press conference.
I guess you can use that as an excuse because NIL is such a big part of the game, but there's not a lot of teams that did. Even Bill Belichick is kind of at the forefront of having a GM, so to speak, at a college level for the football programs.
Who is former general manager Mike Lombardi is his general manager.
I mean, okay.
Well, but I got to say that you got to put your money where your dreams are, and if the money's not there in college sports today, you're most likely not going to win.
The interesting thing about this general manager's job for these colleges is that Adrian Wojnarowski, who was a high NBA insider for ESPN, left after the last year, and he's now the general manager of the St. Bonaventure men's basketball team, handling all the. He went to school there, so he's handling all the NIL deals for St. Bonaventure.
Well, there you go. We'll see what happens. And one more. Did you know that for the first time in some 50 years, Pepsi is bringing back, are you ready?
Oh, please, no.
They are, and I don't know why you're so bothered by it. Pepsi is bringing back the Pepsi Challenge.
Oh, I thought you meant that clear Pepsi.
I have a bottle of that just as a souvenir.
In case like the world ends.
I never tasted it, but it's supposed to taste exactly like.
No, I think it does.
It just doesn't have the coloring in it. Anyway, for the first time, Pepsi in 50 years, Pepsi is bringing back the Pepsi Challenge campaign. This is right here. I actually have in my possession. I actually have a commercial. Is this an old commercial? I guess it is. This is one of the older commercials. Here we go.
All across this country, people took the Pepsi Challenge, and Pepsi won because you know what we have when you taste one.
These old jingles, you can't even understand what they're saying. But they're singing something about Pepsi being so good.
We love Pepsi.
If you took a blind taste test, and I wonder what you would pick. Would you pick Pepsi or would you pick Coke?
Well, would I be able to tell the difference?
There are those who can absolutely tell the difference.
Oh, I can 100,000%.
And would you prefer Pepsi or would you prefer Coke?
Pepsi. If you're doing the regular Pepsi.
Yeah, you would.
Too much Coke will make your stomach hurt.
Well, your stomach. I've seen some people with those 2-liter bottles walking down the street of Coca-Cola, and they're just all high on
I
Coke.
could also tell the difference between Diet Pepsi and Diet Coke.
Oh, you can, yes. That's easy, I think. And maybe Coke and Pepsi is too. But if you give me a Diet Coke, I can almost always tell the difference. Sometimes, though, in a fountain delivery, when you go to a restaurant, the mixes are a little off every once in a while. And it's hard.
Like
But
Dr. Pepper.
if it comes out of a can or comes out of a bottle, I could definitely tell the difference.
Yep.
Got a break. Coming up, Willie Waffle and the movies this weekend. And actually, there's a big one out that kind of is like a Valentine's Day movie that everybody's talking about.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. In theaters, as a matter of fact. Plus, there's stuff you can stream as well. We'll get to all of it coming up. It is 6:40. Andrew with another update on the school delays with a few updates coming up at WIBX.
Hey everyone, it's Lisa here from Fit Body Bootcamp. February is Heart Health Month, and we're here to remind you how important it is to take care of your heart. At Fit Body Bootcamp, we know that heart health is key to overall wellness, and we're proud to support Go Red for Women this month. Every workout you do strengthens not just your muscles, but also your heart. Whether it's breaking a sweat in a high-energy session or committing to a healthy lifestyle, small choices make a big impact. Let's come together this month and take care of our hearts. At Fit Body Bootcamp, we want you to live your best life.
Uncertainty, the unknown. These can be some of the greatest fears people face. There is a chance for a life of greater certainty that the Rome Rescue Mission provides. We call it a hand up, not a handout. The Rome Rescue Mission provides the basic necessities and the skills needed to start a new life. It starts simply with someone to talk to. Knowing that someone cares. The Rome Rescue Mission strives to meet basic needs, food, shelter, and clothing, but more importantly, provides emotional and spiritual support. The Rome Rescue Mission helps people start a new and promising life. Being in need is not a choice. Helping is. An unlimited future starts at the Rome Rescue Mission through your generous support. Make a difference and donate now. RomeMission.org. That's RomeMission.org. Rome Rescue Mission. A hand up, not a handout.
The following heartwarming yet informative scene is brought to you by Trust and Will.
Son, your grandpa and I used to work on this car together, and when I'm gone, I want you to have it.
Wow. Thanks, Dad.
Doesn't count. What you need is a will. Luckily, Trust and Will makes it easy. Designed by attorneys, but customized by you, you can easily create a state-specific, legally valid document that actually counts. Now, let's let the engine do the talking, am I right? Start your will at trustandwill.com. Use offer code COUNT for 10% off and make it count. Trust and Will is an online estate planning service. For details, see trustandwill.com.
Good morning, WIBX 950 AM 92.3 FM News Time 6:42. I'm Andrew Derminio. Right now, 24 degrees under cloudy skies. Your full forecast is coming up. We do want to let you know that we have school delays and no closings, actually. Just a few school delays to let you know about. On a 2-hour delay, we have the ARC Oneida Lewis chapter, Central Valley Schools, Christian Heritage School in Utica, Clinton Central Schools, Frankfort Schuyler, Herkimer Bosse's, Herkimer Central School, Mohawk Valley Christian Academy, Oneida Herkimer Madison Bosse's, also on a 2-hour delay. 2-hour delay for St. Francis de Sales School in Herkimer, Utica Academy of Science, the Utica City School District, Webb Union Free School District, Whitesboro Central Schools, all on a 2-hour delay. 2-hour delay with no AM Bosse's at Adirondack Central Schools, Dalgeville, Holland Patton, Mount Markham, New Hartford, New York Mills, O&D Young, Poland, Remsen, Richfield Springs, all 2-hour delay with no AM Bosse's. That includes Waterville and West Canada Valley as well. 2-hour delays with no AM Bosse's or no AM Pre-K going out to Brookfield, Little Falls City Schools, Oriskany Central Schools, Sequoia Valley, and Westmoreland. St. John the Evangelist Nursery School opening at 12 p.m. The New Hartford Presbyterian Nursery School is closed. We've got a full list of school delays and closings for you on our website, WIBX950.com, or the free WIBX 950 mobile app. Here's your forecast from Ray Stajic.
We've got wind and snow with a winter weather advisory and a wind advisory. Squally weather this morning, reduced visibilities, and maybe a couple of inches of accumulating snowfall. We're getting some lake-enhanced snow, too, so some lake effect could mean some of those totals could exceed 6 inches in some spots. We'll roll on through the nighttime hours tonight, and we'll see some more snow showers. Cloudy 30 tomorrow, more snow Saturday night, maybe more accumulating snow, especially south. I'm meteorologist Ray Stachik from the Weather Channel, WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
Right now, it's 24 degrees under cloudy skies at 6:45.
In some areas, snowing quite heavily with some pretty high wind out there, making visibility an issue. So beware about that. A comment here this morning, Michael, on that person who allegedly stole from the Vernon Center Fire Department. The good news is they most likely kept the money into the local economy. Probably spent some of that trying to gamble their way to the top. Oh, boy.
Bill Morehouse this morning messaging in saying, Carmelo's kid has to be cringed. I don't know if he'll come to Syracuse. He may change schools. That was cringing. The kid watches this. He's not going to want to come here.
Well, I hope that the recruiting class is enough to inspire somebody to believe you can make a real change, because this is horrible.
Well, it came down to USC and Syracuse for him.
Yeah. Hold tight. Willie Waffle coming right up, and the movies and streaming. Some really cool stuff you can stream right from your house going on this, to kick off February, right? Willie, coming up.
It's time to stop letting road conditions dictate your journey. Nokian Tires all-weather tires are versatile enough for summer heat, spring rain, and winter snow, allowing you to forget the forecast, so you can focus on the road ahead, not the road below. Forget the forecast with a year-round tire approved for winter use. Find Nokian Tires all-weather tires at Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair, with locations in Utica, Yorkville, Rome, and Herkimer. Learn more at tallmanstire.com.
Ferris commercial mowers set the bar with racing-inspired patented full suspension and integrated cutting decks so you can go faster, cut better, and not get beat up. Ferris Experience Suspension. Take advantage of the best financing and prices of the year. Visit us at whitesfarmsupply.com.
We're the power in power equipment. White's Farm Supply.
Hey, it's Polly from Big Frog 104 with the perfect solution for your manufactured or mobile home problems. John's Mobile Home Parts and Accessories in Oriskany Falls. If you've had issues with your furnace, now is the time to think about replacing it. Don't wait until next winter. Your skirting around the home could have taken a little beating. John has skirting too. With energy costs continuing to rise and no relief in sight, you need to make sure your mobile or manufactured home is energy efficient. John has new doors and windows in stock as well. Find it all at John's Mobile Home Parts and Accessories.com.
The following heartwarming yet informative scene is brought to you by Trust and Will.
Son, your grandpa and I used to work on this car together, and when I'm gone, I want you to have it.
Wow. Thanks, Dad.
Doesn't count. What you need is a will. Luckily, Trust and Will makes it easy. Designed by attorneys, but customized by you can easily create a state-specific, legally valid document that actually counts. Now, let's let the engine do the talking, am I right? Start your will at trustandwill.com. Use offer code COUNT for 10% off and make it count. Trust and Will is an online estate planning service. For details, see trustandwill.com.
Taxes was not knowing your full financial picture. Now Taxes is getting and maximizing your refund all in one place. Credit Karma, where a TurboTax expert can do your taxes for you. They'll get you the most money back, guaranteed. Then you can do more with all that money, all in Credit Karma. Now this is Taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. Get started today. See guaranteed details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Experts only available with TurboTax Live.
The cold and windy weather isn't going away anytime soon. Don't get caught with an old, inefficient furnace. Today's the day to call Tri-County Heating and Air Conditioning at 315-829-4100. Need service for that furnace that's not working? Call Tri-County Heating and Air Conditioning at 315-829-4100 or check out their website, tri-countyheating.com. That's tri-countyheating.com. Stay warm and safe this season with Tri-County Heating and Air Conditioning.
WIBX.
This is Keeler.
WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Now back to the Keeler Show.
All right, I do have to say, normally Richard is going after you, Andrew, but this morning he's going after me. So I just want to respond to it and unequivocally say, Richard, you're messing with the wrong one. You got to go back to going after Andrew, because
you don't have to go after me.
No, go after Andrew, because with me, you are going to be wrong, and you are wrong.
You're saying I'm wrong?
No, I'm not saying that, Andrew. I'm saying, Richard, you are absolutely, unequivocally.
Is this still weather related?
No,
okay,
absolutely, unequivocally, historically, in this case, you are wrong. I had made a statement saying, remember, Syracuse is and always has been a football school. Syracuse is and always has been, I'll say it again, a football school. He said, did you just say Syracuse is and always has been a football school? It has always been a basketball school. Richard, you are smoking some really, really serious dope this morning, as they would say in the 70s when Syracuse barely had a basketball program. And in the 60s, listen, look at the fact that Syracuse has had some of the greatest legends of all time historically in football. While, yes, it is true, in the last 20 years, they have not been a top tier, for the most part, with the exception of a few years, a top tier football team. They are always a football school, and here's how you can tell.
They had some good years in the Big East.
Here's how you can tell. Dino Babers, Boeheim, after all of his years and a national championship, after all of his years at Syracuse, Dino Babers, every year while he was at Syracuse, made significantly more money than Jim Boeheim did as a football coach.
That's an interesting
way
way
of
of looking
at it. You know why? Because Syracuse invests more into their football program, period. And you can look it up. You can
put more people in the dome when there's a football game.
Syracuse is a football school, and as of the last 25 years and maybe 50 years, probably the basketball program has been better. But I'm going to tell you something. The lacrosse program was better than the basketball and football program. It doesn't make Syracuse a lacrosse school.
Wow.
Syracuse is a football school. Unfortunately, we are failing in football up until the last year. And I feel really good about that. Willie Waffle would agree with me. Syracuse is a football school. Good morning, Willie. Good morning.
How's it going, guys?
I don't know. I'm in one of those moods today. I'm going to tell you.
Yeah,
right
I heard you're a little fired up.
Boy. I mean, just think about Jim Brown alone. And I know you, Carmelo Anthony, and all of that, but traditionally their investments are all in football. But you know what? If they want basketball to be good, they got to spend some money, and we'll see what happens. Good morning, Willie. Good morning.
Hey. Hey, with name, image, and likeness now, you can buy yourself a team overnight. I mean, come on, let's go.
That's exactly it, and really, that's what the former Duke player on ESPN the other night said: is you got to spend some money. If you aren't going to spend any money, you're not going to improve this basketball program. How about this Love Hurts? Everybody's talking about it. Love Hurts, and it's the kid from Goonies who's no longer a kid anymore, right?
Yeah, right. T.Y. Kwan.
Yeah.
And he's all grown up. People might remember him. He was an Oscar winner a few years ago for Everything Everywhere All the Time. I can't remember the exact title off the top of my head at this moment, but you know which one I'm talking about.
Yes, I do. Yes.
And here, this is a movie I was really looking forward to. I got to say, I was excited. I thought it might be really good. And then I saw the movie.
Ooh.
I mean, so here he is. He plays this real estate agent in Milwaukee, and he's very fastidious. He's very good at what he does, and it turns out it's all a secret identity. Why, years ago he was a hitman for his brother, who was a crime lord, and he kind of let somebody go, and he had to go into hiding and assume this new identity, and now his brother's after him.
Dun dun dun.
Yeah, listen. Here's the thing. It's supposed to be a comedy, but it's just not funny enough. I think the writing is very weak. It relies on a lot of silly names more than silly situations, more than silly dialogue, more than good dialogue. Let's be honest. it wants to be kind of ultra violent. There's a John Wick aspect to it, where now all of a sudden you're mixing these two things, and I just don't see them going together all that well. I mean, if you're gonna do that, I think you have to make the violence more ironic. It needs to be more offbeat. It needs to be funnier, and that's not the case here. I'm at one waffle, and frankly, I think it's one waffle because it's a short movie, and at least it's got that going for it.
Okay, that's right. It doesn't keep you
Is
away.
Marshawn Lynch in this movie?
Yeah, Marshawn Lynch plays one of the henchmen chasing after Quan.
Really?
That's awesome.
Wow. Well, because he has a lot of kids, at least that'll up the people sitting in the theater. They'll have their girlfriends and boyfriends with them, and he'll have a lot of people there. Heart Eyes, also in theaters. What do you think of this one? It's like a drama. With
horror film.
Serial killer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's a serial killer, but it is a romantic comedy slasher movie. So follow me here, because this gets a little bit complicated. So yes, there is a serial killer known as Heart Eyes who has a mask featuring red glowing heart eyes, and he returns every Valentine's Day to kill couples that are in love.
Oh boy!
And so this Valentine's Day, it's Olivia Holt and Mason Gooding, but they're coworkers. They're not really romantic. They're not dating. They just happen to get put together on a project. And while this serial killer has misinterpreted that they are a couple, as they're running away from him, as they're trying to fight for their lives, they kind of start to fall for each other.
Oh, how cute!
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and so here we go again. We're mixing the genres to try to make it interesting, okay? And listen, this isn't the worst idea. I don't think that it's just executed very well. Again, it really is relying on a lot of the bloodthirsty gore to entertain people. I'm not into that. I don't want that. So maybe I'm a little bit more prejudiced against it than most people. I think the romantic comedy is kind of funny. It's kind of out of place. I think it's a novel way to kind of mix genres, but it just runs out of all the typical cliches, both of rom-coms and of slasher films.
Yeah.
So I'm at like 1.5 waffles.
And then finally, there's a Netflix movie. I have 1 minute. I'm sorry, I took up all your time.
That's okay.
Bitching.
I wasn't going to say it.
Kind of Pregnant is the Netflix movie. Is this worth sitting at home and
Amy Schumer.
investing 2 hours into?
Listen, Amy Schumer plays this teacher who's always wanted to be pregnant, always dreamed of it. Now her best friend has become pregnant and she feels left out. And she starts to pretend that she's pregnant because people start treating her nicer and they start treating her better. But it's all going to fall apart eventually because, that's what happens in these movies. The other thing that happens in these movies is that once you get to the point where you can't keep the lie going, there goes the comedy, there goes the fun, there goes the story, because you never know how to end a movie like this. There's no way to end it in a realistic way.
Yeah.
So I am at 1.5 waffles.
Oh, boy.
For Kind of Pregnant.
All right, interesting.
Kind of awful movies this weekend.
Even kind of awful will be the
Super Bowl weekend.
Will be the Super Bowl, in my opinion.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, Willie. Thank you, man. Have a wonderful weekend.
Hey, you all too. I'll talk to you next week.
All right. Thank you, Willie Waffle, with the movies. Richard says, or actually Mike here this morning says, I'll give you his comment after because I just lost it. Quick break, news and closings coming up.
Hey everyone, it's Lisa here from Fit Body Boot Camp. February is Heart Health Month, and we're here to remind you how important it is to take care of your heart. At Fit Body Boot Camp, we know that heart health is key to overall wellness, and we're proud to support Go Red for Women this month. Every workout you do strengthens not just your muscles, but also your heart. Whether it's breaking a sweat in a high-energy session or committing to a healthy lifestyle, small choices make a big impact. Let's come together this month and take care of our hearts. At Fit Body Boot Camp, we want you to live your best life.
Are you a CDPAP home care user or caregiver? Now's the time to switch to PPL and ensure a smooth transition. It's fast and easy. Over the phone, online, at an in-person or virtual session, or with a CDPAP facilitator. Call PPL at 833-247-5346. That's 833-247-5346. Visit pplfirst.com/CDPAP. Register today. A message from the New York State Health Department.
Anthony Constantino. He's a local boy, a businessman, and a job creator, not a politician. He's the CEO of Sticker Mule. When he put the country's largest Vote for Trump sign on the roof of his building, the Democrat mayor threatened to put him in jail. But Anthony Constantino stood strong for free speech and Donald Trump. He refused to take down the sign. Now he's running for Congress to fill the seat being vacated by Congresswoman Elise Stefanik. Constantino will fight to put our missile defense at Fort Drum, to protect our apple and dairy farmers, and to bring jobs and affordable housing back to upstate New York. Urge your Republican and Conservative Party leaders to support Anthony Constantino in the upcoming special election.
I'm Anthony Constantino, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Constantino
from the Stanley Theater Studios. WIBX Utica, Rome.
W295EI.
WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. A Town Square media station.
Just about everybody who works at a U.S. agency about to be out of a job. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. About 10,000 staffers at the U.S. Agency for International Development will be put on administrative leave today. Only about 290 will be kept as Republicans try to rein in what they call out-of-control spending on foreign aid.
I had preferred not to do it this way. When we tried to do it from the top down by getting cooperation from the central office of USAID, what we found instead are people trying to use the system to sneak through payments and push through payments despite the stop order.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio, he's getting pushback on the USAID cuts.
The largest U.S. government worker union and an association of foreign service workers have filed a lawsuit. The American Federation of Government Employees and the American Foreign Service Association say the Trump administration's created a global humanitarian crisis, and they're suing to stop what they call unconstitutional and illegal actions.
Fox's Jill Nato. Federal workers have extra time to consider President Trump's buyout offer to resign and be paid through September. Last night's deadline is now Monday night, after a judge temporarily blocked it to consider a legal challenge to the Trump offer at a hearing on Monday. Another federal judge has limited the access the Department of Government Efficiency can have to Americans' financial data in Treasury Department systems. Now, DOGE is run by Elon Musk. Democrats call him an out-of-control, unelected billionaire, and Congressman Pete Aguilar says he must be stopped.
To protect the American people from this extreme and illegal overreach.
Republicans support Musk's effort to trim federal spending. And there's somebody else Democrats don't like, fearing he could also slash spending. The new director of the Office of Management and Budget.
The yeas are 53, the nays are 47. The nomination is confirmed.
Republicans confirming Russell vote without any Democrat support. And the search continues near Nome, Alaska, for a plane with 10 people on board that went missing yesterday. America's listening to Fox News.
It's time to throw out your overpriced big wireless contract. Throw it overboard. You can get an iPhone 14 or a Samsung Galaxy for $0 with a qualifying plan of just $45 a month. Get unlimited talk, unlimited text, 25 gigs of data, mobile hotspot. You get all of it. So get your new iPhone 14 or Samsung Galaxy for $0. Just dial pound 250, say the keyword Pure Talk, pound 250, keyword Pure Talk from Pure Talk, America's wireless company.
He's coming, he's coming. Here he comes. Surprise! Your table saw broke. Also, the warranty expired weeks ago, so you need to pay for a new one out of pocket.
At Progressive, we know small business owners don't usually like surprises because they cost you money. But a good surprise that could save you money? Getting a commercial auto quote from Progressive.
Oh, and the replacement part you ordered doesn't fit, so it's completely useless. What a waste.
Surprise yourself. See if you can save in as little as 7 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
The International Criminal Court is urging its member countries to push back against President Trump's sanctions imposed on the ICC. He calls illegitimate and baseless the court issuing an arrest warrant for Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, accusing him of war crimes against Palestinians in Gaza.
Sanctions will apply to any individual and the family members of those individuals who assist in ICC investigations of U.S. citizens or U.S. allies. The U.S. is not a part of the International Criminal Court and has long argued the ICC has no jurisdiction over American officials. President Trump says the ICC constrains liberal democratic nations like Israel in exercising its right to self-defense and fails to hold regimes like Iran accountable for crimes against humanity. During his first term, President Trump authorized an asset freeze and entry ban against ICC officials and their families for opening investigations into U.S. actions in Afghanistan. At the White House, House. Jared Halpern, Fox News.
Well, next hour, an important update to the economy. The monthly report expected to show a slowdown in hiring in January, but still about 170,000 jobs created. The unemployment rate predicted to remain at 4.1%. Ahead of that on Wall Street, stock futures and mix not moving much. The NFL has handed out its awards for the regular season days before the Super Bowl. And for the first time,
Bills quarterback Josh Allen is the 2024 AP NFL Most Valuable Player, edging out Ravens signal caller Lamar Jackson. Allen threw for 28 touchdowns while adding 12 scores on the ground, as Buffalo went 13-4 before losing to the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game. In other awards announced Thursday night, Washington Commanders quarterback Jaden Daniels won the Offensive Rookie of the Year, and Kevin O'Connell of the Vikings took home Coach of the Year. Joe Morgan, Fox News.
Philadelphia running back Saquon Barkley, who nearly set a rushing record this season, was named the NFL Offensive Player of the Year. His Eagles will play the Kansas City Chiefs in the Super Bowl Sunday. I'm Dave Anthony, and this is Fox News.
Good morning, WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM news time, 7:05. I'm Andrew Derminio. Right now we have cloudy skies, 24 degrees. Your full weather forecast is coming up. We have a winter weather advisory in effect from now until tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Utica Mayor Mike Galimi unveiled his budget proposal Thursday for the 25-26 fiscal year, which included a total of $91.6 million for expenses and a 9.77% property tax increase for Uticans. The mayor presented a total of $91.6 for allocations in his proposed budget. From the total, public safety will be allocated over $60 million, general city expenses will be allocated over $11.6 million, and the city's debt will be allocated over $8.4 million. The city's Department of Public Works will be allocated roughly $5.6 million of the budget. A Utica woman was arrested on felony forgery charges. Utica police say a female suspect was brought to the department in November for one count of criminal trespass. Authorities say as the suspect was being booked, she did not provide her name and instead claimed to be a relative of hers and signed the electronic form to attest she was another person. A warrant was then issued for that individual who did not appear in court. And the Criminal Investigations Division learned the suspect had lied about her identity. Police located and charged 27-year-old Amanda Fardo with second-degree forgery as well as second-degree criminal trespass. A new study suggests people feel better in the morning and worse late at night. The study, published in the journal BMJ Mental Health, found that people generally reported better mental health and well-being earlier in the day. They also said they felt happier and more satisfied with life. Researchers said that while there's a correlation, they can't be certain time of day impacts mental health. Herkimer police are reminding residents to make good decisions on Super Bowl Sunday. Don't drink and drive, and if you have a few drinks, either have a designated driver or call a rideshare. Herkimer police said drunk drivers face a range of consequences like fines and prison time, but the most serious is the increased potential for getting into a fatal accident. Police will be more present on the roads to catch impaired drivers. Herkimer police also remind residents to never serve alcohol to minors, because if they drink and drive, the one who provided the drinks can be held liable for any damage, injury, or death if they crash. And new NASA imagery shows a large asteroid that could impact the Earth in 2032. NASA said this is the only asteroid with a probability of impact above 1%. The number changes day by day, but the NASA Jet Propulsion Laboratory said the object, named 2024 YR4, is on its risk list because scientists found a gradual increase in its impact probability in the month since they discovered its existence. WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM news time, 7:08. Here's your forecast from the Weather Channel.
We've got wind and snow with a winter weather advisory and a wind advisory. Squally weather this morning, reduced visibilities, and maybe a couple of inches of accumulating snowfall. We're getting some lake-enhanced snow, too, so some lake effect could mean some of those totals could exceed 6 inches in some spots. We'll roll on through the nighttime hours tonight, and we'll see some more snow showers. Cloudy 30 tomorrow. More snow Saturday night, maybe more accumulating snow, especially south. I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic from the Weather Channel, WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
Right now, 24 under cloudy skies. Snow showers in the area. It is 7:09. In sports, the greatest spectacle is taking place in sports in New Orleans this Sunday. The Chiefs and Eagles square off in Super Bowl 59 from Caesars Superdome. Kansas City is in uncharted territory in NFL history after becoming the first team to make 3 consecutive big game appearances. KC is trying to become the only three-peat champion in the Super Bowl era. Wyndham Clark is sitting atop the leaderboard after the first round of the Waste Management Phoenix Open was suspended due to darkness. Clark shot a 7 under 64 in round 1 at TPC Scottsdale. Taylor Moore and Lee Hodges are tied for second at 6 under par. Justin Thomas, Nikolai Hogard, and Andrew Putnam are among several players tied for fourth at 5 under. One of the most iconic races in NASCAR gets underway next week. The Cup Series field squares off in the duels at Daytona next Thursday. Chase Elliott hopes to carry momentum into the qualifiers after winning the season opening race last weekend. The driver of the number 9 car held off Ryan Blaney by just over a second to cruise down victory lane in the cookout clash at Bowman Gray Stadium. Eli Manning getting the snub from Canton. Manning was not named part of the Pro Football Hall of Fame class of 2025 on Thursday. The two-time Super Bowl champion was in his first year of eligibility after spending 16 years with the G-Men. He threw for over 57,000 yards and 366 touchdowns in his career and was named the MVP of Super Bowl 42 and Super Bowl 46. The players that were inducted or will be enshrined in Canton at the Football Hall of Fame include Jared Allen of the Kansas City Chiefs, Vikings, Bears, and Panthers. He was a defensive end. Also, Antonio Gates, who was a tight end for the San Diego and Los Angeles Chargers. Sterling Sharp, former Green Bay Packer, who had a career end abruptly and unfortunately with a neck injury. And I believe that was there 3, Davey, or 4? I think it was just the
4. You forgot
Eric
Antonio
Allen.
Gates.
No, I didn't. I forgot Eric Allen, who was a Philadelphia Eagle and a New Orleans Saint and briefly an Oakland Raider. WIBX 950 AM 92.3 FM. News time is 7:11. All right, coming up, we're going to talk about something that might interest you, and that would be salsa.
Oh, always.
Super Bowl,
yeah.
It's like the number 1 or number 2 snack for, I think, buffalo wings and then chips and dip.
Chips and dip in New York's number 1, according to a recent study.
Okay, all right, a big study.
I did a whole
there.
story about it.
Anyway, the fact is, we love Becky Martinuke's salsa. It's really good, locally made, and awesome. And you can get it at stores, and you got to have it in stock and ready to go for Super Bowl Sunday. We'll talk about that coming up. Also, Scott in Kirkville will give you his picks for the big weekend, even though the Bills aren't playing. And Scott Baradell, Super Bowl ads to look for. This morning, Davey, what are we looking at? Hobica's free money question of the day. How much money are we looking at?
$250.
$250 on the line for Super Bowl weekend. Who's on the line right now?
Trump's new borders are, Bill.
Get out of here.
Are you serious, Clark?
Seriously?
He must be in town
Yep.
doing some
Good morning.
wrangling today.
Yeah, good morning there. Hey, Bill. Hey, it's Tom
Good.
Holman here. How are you? Yeah.
Hey, Tom. Good to talk to you.
Good
You're a
morning.
SUNY Poly grad. Did SUNY IT at the time.
That is correct.
Yeah, that's right. That's correct. Yeah. I never got a hold of any of that salsa you're talking about, though.
The salsa's really. Are you calling to tell us you're in the area? Because I just saw a radio station in California that is now being investigated by the FCC because they reported where ice was.
Yeah, they were tipping people off. They were tipping. They think they can stop us from doing what we're doing, but it's not going to work. And now we're looking into them. They just made it so they put a target on their own back.
Deport them.
Deport them. Yeah. That's exactly right.
We'll look into it. I'll tell you that. We're very busy. You guys see the news. You know we're busy.
We do know you're busy. Yeah. You look busy. When I look at you, I'm saying there's a busy man.
How about the fact that somebody else tipped off all of the gang from Venezuela in Colorado? The whole apartment building was vacated.
Yeah. These people, I don't know. There's something wrong with them.
Yes,
they
you're
don't
right.
know what they're doing. United States of America. we're doing what we got to do. People like that, they're not going to stop us. We've got
That's
the
right.
full force of the federal government behind us. We're grabbing murderers and rapists and people with 16 items in the express checkout.
Those sons of bitches.
I hate those people. Yeah.
You hate those people. But the bottom line, Bill, this is the United States of America, If you're here illegally, you better not so much as fart in an elevator. We're going to find you. We're going into churches and schools. Yesterday, we grabbed a guy out of a colonoscopy.
Somebody's pretty upset. They could have had that appointment. It's hard to get one.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. I'm sure they pulled another guy in there,
That's right. They probably did. Yes.
Yeah, they probably did, But, we don't care, We don't care where you're from or how long you've been here. Yesterday, we grabbed Chef Boyardee.
He's been here for a long time.
He was an identity thief. He stole the identity of some chef from Italy,
He did.
This morning.
Terrible.
Just before it came on this morning, we nailed the Lucky Charms leprechaun,
Yeah.
Definitely illegal.
Send him back to Ireland.
Yes.
Yeah, he's going back. Look, with the little yellow moons, the pink hearts, green clubs. Those pink hearts were part of an Irish organ harvesting ring. That's what was going on.
I also think that they put fentanyl in those marshmallows
they might,
too.
They might have, yes.
Stuff's going on, The kids don't look right that eat that, Like, come on, eat some salsa and get some waffles and sausage. That's how I start the day right there. But we got an agent. You'd be interested in this. Out in Ohio, this was yesterday, an agent of ours busted Tony the Tiger, illegal in India.
Great.
Bengal tiger. This guy, turns out he was the one eating people's dogs and cats. This guy, Tony the Tiger. Yeah. Tigers don't eat frosted flakes. I mean, they might be great, but it's not a Labradoodle. This guy was hungry.
That is terrible. Yeah.
No, we're using everything. Bloodhounds, thermal imaging. We got Joe Biden sniffing around for Dora the Explorer. We're on it.
We appreciate what you're doing.
Oh, man.
Yeah, well, we're looking at it like Pokemon, Bill. We got to catch them all,
There you go.
Catch them all. Listen, Tom, thank you for what you're doing. You're a great American, and we appreciate
and a local boy.
Making a local guy
That's
with
awesome.
a local connection. We appreciate what you're doing out there.
Likewise, right
All
back
right.
at you.
You have a wonderful weekend, and go
Make sure
Bills.
to keep us posted.
Go Bills.
Keep in touch.
All right. Stop by the studio.
All right, guys.
Okay.
All right, guys.
Okay. You think that was really him?
I think so.
Oh, of course it was.
It was like
quickly.
It was like Rodney Dangerfield was the.
He did have a little Rodney going on there. Kathy in Rome. Quickly, and then I got a break. Hi, Kathy. Good morning.
Good morning. I have to tell you, Michigan State basketball team, they are 18-4.
Wow.
They fell off the wagon on the West Coast for 2 games, but we'll pull for them. I was having to say, I liked your theme music of Hall & Oates for when you had the detective on. That was very classy.
That was good. Well, we're very classy around here,
So I enjoyed that. That was excellent.
That was all Andrew right there.
I think Syracuse is more of a football.
Well, it's not even there is no debate about this. There isn't a debate. It's a football school. And
I remember
that's why they pay more for football. Listen, Mike just a second ago messaged in saying Jim Brown, and I want to make sure I don't get this wrong, incorrectly read. I want to read it exactly as he sent it in because it is absolutely true. Jim Brown played football, lacrosse, track, and baseball and basketball at Syracuse University. What was he famous for?
Football.
Football. Yeah. I mean,
yes, I remember.
That's just one more example, but it comes down to, what they pay for their coaches. And Boeheim, while he was a national championship coach at Syracuse, still never made what the football coach made. So
because I remember family saying that Michigan State football team had come here a number of times and played Syracuse. So I'll stick with football.
Well, now we know it's true because you've said it. So
All
we
right.
appreciate it. All right,
Take
Kathy,
care.
thank you.
Bye-bye.
Have a great weekend and go Bills this weekend. In my dreams. Coming up, Scott in Kirkville will make his picks, and we're going to talk some salsa. Some really authentic, delicious salsa coming up.
Looking for an insurance agency that treats you like family? Look no further than WB Payne Insurance, a family-owned and operated agency serving the community for over 65 years. At WB Payne Insurance, they understand that family comes first, and they're here to protect what matters most to you. Whether it's your home, your car, or your business, they've got you covered. WB Payne Insurance. Learn more or get a quote today by visiting WBPayneco.com. WB Payne Insurance, protecting your family like it's their own, with smart solutions to save you money.
The following heartwarming yet informative scene is brought to you by Trust and Will.
Son, your grandpa and I used to work on this car together, and when I'm gone, I want you to have it.
Wow. Thanks, Dad. Doesn't count. What you need is a will. Luckily, Trust and Will makes it easy. Designed by attorneys, but customized by you, you can easily create a state-specific, legally valid document that actually counts. Now, let's let the engine do the talking, am I right? Start your will at trustandwill.com. Use offer code COUNT for 10% off and make it count. Trust and Will is an online estate planning service. For details, see trustandwill.com.
It's time to stop letting road conditions dictate your journey. Nokian Tires all-weather tires are versatile enough for summer heat, spring rain, and winter snow, allowing you to forget the forecast so you can focus on the road ahead, not the road below. Forget the forecast with a year-round tire approved for winter use. Find Nokian Tires all-weather tires at Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair, with locations in Utica, Yorkville, Rome, and Herkimer. Learn more at tallmanstire.com.
Taxes was not knowing your full financial picture. Now Taxes is getting and maximizing your refund all in one place. Credit Karma, where a TurboTax expert can do your taxes for you. They'll get you the most money back, guaranteed. Then you can do more with all that money, all in Credit Karma. Now this is Taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. Get started today. See guarantee details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Experts only available with TurboTax Live.
This is Ray Durso of the Genesis Group. Join me this Sunday morning on WIBX as I welcome a roundtable with area mayors. From Rome, Jeffrey Lanigan; from Herkimer, Dana Sherry; and from Ilion, John Stevens. We'll be talking about the community's agenda and all the goals that they'd like to accomplish this year in 2025. Join us this week in the Mohawk Valley, Sunday, 9 a.m. at WIBX 950 a.m. and 92.3 FM.
WIBX.
This is Keeler.
WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Now back to the Keeler Show.
Alrighty now. Richard, I hate to say, but everybody now is pouncing on this
Wrong.
Syracuse being a football school thing. Here's another one. The reason Syracuse left the Big East, which is a basketball league, and went into the ACC was because of football. That's why they went in. Boeheim didn't want to go. Boeheim didn't want to leave the Big East.
Yeah, the Big East was huge for basketball. But.
Anyway, it's just when I say it's not debatable, it's not a debatable topic. Nor is the most delicious salsa in the world, and it is here in our studio right now. Here is Becky. Good morning, Becky. Good morning. I got to get your mic on. Try that one more time. Good morning, Becky.
Good morning.
So I got to pull this over here, and I got it. All right. I didn't know the mission is not yours. Mission chips are not yours.
I hope that, I'll have my own chips someday.
That would be
but
nice.
Right now,
Do you have a and you are of Mexican descent?
Yes.
Do you have a favorite chip? I mean,
on the market right now.
I love the Xochitl. Those are one of my favorites. Yeah.
How is that spelled?
XO.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. TC.
Oh yeah. I've seen them.
Yeah.
They come in like a brown, almost paper bag.
Yeah, it looks like a craft paper bag.
Yes.
And I think those are.
Okay,
those
I
are
got
my
to try
favorite.
those for the weekend.
Yeah. Sorry, I brought you a mission.
And that's okay. No, I just want to know.
We're not picky.
What your favorite is. And you have a new salsa out. You have also seasonings. Talk about what you have and move the bag out of the way so people can.
Yeah.
And then your products, kind of bring them closer to you. They'll get on camera. There we go. If you're watching on YouTube, you'll be able to see. And just lift each one up when you want to talk about them.
Okay.
So when I say you have a new salsa, you have added a hot salsa.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, in the summer, we brought out the hot salsa, and it's really been widely received. And
nice.
It's not, the label looks like maybe it's super hot, but I say 1 out of 10, with 10 being the hottest, it's probably like a 5.
Okay.
So it's serrano peppers versus jalapeno peppers. So it's just got a nice kick. It's not going to kill you, but it's enjoyable, and it's got just that extra heat. And
it's Salitas.
Yes, Chica Salitas.
Chica Salitas.
Yes.
And I love the logo, the artwork and stuff is really good. It makes you want to pick it up on the grocery store shelf. I really feel like it stands out from all of the others.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And that was I have to do a shout out to Chris Penry, who was the person who helped me with all of that. He's a great designer, and we worked on it together.
Nice. And then talk about the other new product that you have.
Okay. So this is our dry seasoning that we have here, and it's more same flavor profile as the salsa. So it's got, garlic and cumin and cilantro. Citrus goes great on, seafood, as a dry rub for meats, as a rim salt for Bloody Marys.
That's a good idea,
wow.
Yeah,
That's
it's got a
idea.
lot of great uses. Put it on your eggs in the morning, on avocado toast, you name it.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah, my husband likes to smoke meat. We put on wings. It's really fantastic.
That's cool. And Andrew, I know you're looking to. Could Andrew crack open a
please
salsa?
do. I heard you say you were hungry earlier.
He's hungry.
Grab whichever. Yeah, please.
I'll
see Davey running.
Take a dip in. I want to try that. I haven't tried the hot yet.
Oh, now I see more people coming in.
Yeah, now they're coming in. Talk
all
about
the rules here this morning.
I know it says no food or drink allowed in the studio.
Except when you come.
All right.
This is Becky Martinuk, and you're from New Hartford, right?
Whitesboro.
Whitesboro.
Yep, but I live in New Hartford now.
And she has made did you get some, or are you giving it to me first? She makes salsa, which is really good. Talk about the history of and where the recipe comes from. This is the hot I'm about to try.
Okay. So this was something, I was lucky enough to grow up spending a lot of time with both sets of my grandparents. I was very fortunate. And as a lot of people do, we really did a lot of cooking together, eating together.
That is really good.
As I got older, it became my go-to thing that I would bring to people's houses for parties, get-togethers, and whatnot.
And people would say, you got to bottle that.
Yeah, and, didn't think too much of it. But then, I'm like, for the off times that I can't make it for people when they want me to, make it, there must be something good in a jar in the store that's comparable. So I went to the store.
I'm going to stop you right now.
Wow.
Isn't that good?
Now, if you're a person that can't do heat but likes it, you got to get it.
Yeah, it's like an intro.
It's not too hot.
Right.
It's like the novice heat.
Right, which leaves me room to make my extra hot, which I want to do, which that'll hopefully be.
Wow, that is
out.
unbelievable.
And by the way, what I like about these is, like, my son is a collector of hot sauces.
Okay.
And they just get so hot, they're not tasty. You don't taste
Right, you
anything.
want it to have real flavor.
You want to taste
you
it.
want a little kick, but, a lot of people are like, I can't do hot. And I'm like, listen, this is something
It is
that,
not too hot.
Is an introductory.
I almost feel like I might like this one better than I like the medium. And the medium's more of a mild.
It's definitely, if I could go back and relabel it, I would label it mild medium.
Yeah.
Here's the truth of it. You kind of touched on it.
This is really good. By the way, it's Chica Salitas. Can you hold up the jar one more time so if people are on YouTube? Yeah. Andrew, put it right up there. There you go. And is that a picture of your grandmother?
It was taken from a picture of her, a likeness. Yep.
All right, you were in the middle of telling the story, by the way.
So I started going to the store trying to find something that would be comparable for the times that I couldn't make it. And I'd buy 3 or 4 jars at a time. We'd all sit down and sample it. And I was just kind of disappointed at what was out there. And I'm like, I bet I could put this in a jar.
Yeah.
And,
And you have.
Yeah, fast forward, a lot of legwork later. And it's been the best thing.
What's good about this hot, I was just going to say this. A lot of the time with the spicier or hot salsas, you lose the flavor because you're just so overwhelmed with heat.
Well, that's what I was just talking about, where you have these hot sauces that are so
It's like,
hot.
what's the point? Like,
meanwhile, you're drooling.
Right.
Your lips are like turning.
you can't taste anything the rest of the day.
You just feel fire going through your body the rest of the day. Yeah.
And then you're fearing it, and then you're fearing tomorrow.
Right.
Yeah.
And the
That'll be
flavor
horrible.
in Serranos is really the same, like sort of a grassy
Serrano
flavor
is
as
the pepper.
Yeah,
I've
as a
never heard of that.
jalapeno.
I've never heard of that pepper before.
And
I because I'm on the air, but I'm don't eat too much of that because I'm taking it with me.
I brought more.
You did nice. Go ahead. The Serrano pepper.
It has the same flavor as the jalapeno, but just the extra heat. So you're really not changing the flavor. A lot of times you add chilies and you get a whole different flavor. So that's why I chose that.
I got to say, my parents had gotten from somewhere. Somebody had grown chili peppers, and I guess I didn't realize that crushed red pepper that we have around here is from chili peppers. And so it was a bushel, and it's bright red, and it's tied, and I have it hanging in our kitchen. It's like decorative. Although you just pull one of those off once they dry, and they literally crumble right in your hand, and you put it in sauce or something like that, but don't ever
put it in your eyes.
Touch your eye.
No, you learn that real quick, right?
Yeah. It'll kill you.
It will kill you.
And now where does the Serrano pepper, where does that rate when it comes to heat?
It's like right above the jalapeno. So jalapeno is like 15 to 30,000 Scoville. Or I'm sorry, I think that's the Serrano. And then the jalapeno is like 7 to 15.
Okay.
It varies. So, they're right next to each other.
Nice. So you have the seasoning that's available and the salsa right now.
Yep.
And also, she is the most amazing massage therapist in the world. I know the two don't mix.
I know.
Listen, they could. They could.
Careful.
I can see the next time I'm going in, I'm like, listen, I love the massage, but could I have, while you're doing the massage, could I have some
Just
salsa?
set a little table.
Right.
Some chips on the
some
side.
salsa.
Margarita.
Yeah. A margarita would be nice.
There you go.
So, especially with this weekend being Super Bowl weekend, people having little get-togethers. And are you, so this is available in stores. Which stores now?
We are in actually over 100 stores.
Wow.
But locally, Shenatries, Peter's Cornucopia, Utica Bread, Holland Farms, Panowitz, all your favorite local places, small.
Then every once in a while, you'll see it in a place that I don't expect to see it. I'm like, wow, there, I can pick up a jar.
I love doing that.
Yeah. But it is worth making that extra trip to a local place to get it. This business is so hard to get into the big stores.
Yeah.
It is very tough. But I feel like one day someone's going to come to you and say, we want to buy this.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
I mean, in the meantime, I'm really...
Then you're talking a lot of money. And this salsa is so good. It's unique and it's so good. And you say that it's this is authentic, an older, authentic tasting salsa.
My grandmother grew up in Puebla, Mexico, and this is what she grew up making.
Yeah.
And what we made together.
Nice. All right. Anything else you want people that they should know?
Yeah. So just yesterday, we did an exciting launch on Amazon.
This is huge.
Yeah.
This really is bigger than getting into a grocery store.
Yeah. So, I mean, we've got the local area covered, but for all those people who want to send it to other people, yes, I can ship from my website, but we all know how easy Amazon makes it to just one click. Add it to your cart and send it to your kid in college or send it to your friend who's watching the Super Bowl someplace else. And it just makes it so easy to share and order.
I think people should put this on their drunk click list because what happens is
you got one of those?
This happens all the time. People have a couple of cocktails. They all of a sudden grab their laptop and they're sending stuff to everybody, right? So
here we go.
CELITA''S. Chica Salitas salsa.
I see it right there. You start to type it, and it comes right up on Amazon.
It's on Amazon. That's a big accomplishment right
exciting.
there. Yeah. All right. Very cool. So get it for your Super Bowl party, and we appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Great
for having
job.
me. Great to be back.
CELITA''S. And Andrew, you say it pops right up.
It pops right up.
Love it.
Yeah, the seasoning's not on there yet, but
At
You're
least the
working on
salsa
it.
is.
I'm working on
All right.
it, yeah.
The seasoning, you'll have to come to our house to
There
check
you
it
go.
out. We'll be serving it this weekend.
Makes a great dip, too. Mix this in
bet
with
it
sour
does.
cream.
Yeah.
Makes a really great dip.
Love it.
Ooh, okay.
Stand by. We'll do Hobica's free money question of the day. Andrew with an update on news and delays this morning. See if any of those delays have turned into closures. Coming right up.
Get a smile for all seasons at Schulman and Rosansky Family Dentistry.
I'm Andrew Rosansky, inviting you to call us for crowns and veneers that will give you a beautiful smile that will keep you smiling year-round. Call us today.
Get a smile for all seasons at Schulman and Rosansky Family Dentistry, 1 Paris Road, New Hartford, and online at uticasmiles.com.
Taxes was not knowing your full financial picture. Now Taxes is getting and maximizing your refund all in one place. Credit Karma, where a TurboTax expert can do your taxes for you. They'll get you the most money back, guaranteed. Then you can do more with all that money, all in Credit Karma. Now this is Taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. Get started today. See guaranteed details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Experts only available with TurboTax Live.
Good morning, WIBX 950 AM 92.3 FM News Time, 7:35. I'm Andrew Dermenio. Right now, we are experiencing cloudy skies and 24 degrees. Your full weather forecast is coming up. Utica Mayor Mike Galimi presented his 2026 fiscal year budget, which included a total of $91.6 million for expenses and a 9.77% proposed property tax increase. The mayor presented the budget with allocations totaling $60 million for public safety, $11.6 million for the city's general expenses, $8.4 million for the city's debt, and the DPW will see an allocation of roughly $5.6 million. A Utica woman was arrested on felony forgery charges. Utica police say a female suspect was brought to the department in November for one count of criminal trespass. Authorities say as the suspect was being booked, she did not provide her name and instead claimed to be a relative of hers and signed the electronic form to attest she was another person. A warrant was then issued for that individual who did not appear in court, and the Criminal Investigations Division learned the suspect had lied about her identity. Police located and charged 27-year-old Amanda Farda with second-degree forgery as well as second-degree criminal trespass. Herkimer police are reminding residents to make good decisions on Super Bowl Sunday. Don't drink and drive, and if you have a few drinks, either have a designated driver or call a rideshare. Herkimer police said drunk drivers face a range of consequences, like fines and prison time, but the most serious is increased potential for getting into a fatal accident. Police will be more present on the roads to catch impaired drivers. Herkimer police also remind residents to never serve alcohol to minors because if they drink and drive, the one who provided the drinks can be held liable for any damage, injury, or death if they crash. And a juice cleanse may not be as beneficial as you think. A new study out of Northwestern University finds a vegetable and fruit juice only diet can change gut and oral bacteria linked to inflammation and cognitive decline. The research showed that the changes could happen after just 3 days. It suggests that stripping the fiber out of fruits can cause imbalances with negative consequences. The study was published in the journal Nutrients. WIBX 950 AM 92.3 FM News Time, 7:37. Here's your forecast.
We've got wind and snow with a winter weather advisory and a wind advisory. Squally weather this morning, reduced visibilities, and maybe a couple of inches of accumulating snowfall. We're getting some lake-enhanced snow, too, so some lake effect could mean some of those totals could exceed 6 inches in some spots. We'll roll on through the nighttime hours tonight, and we'll see some more snow showers. Cloudy 30 tomorrow. More snow Saturday night, maybe more accumulating snow, especially south. I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic from the Weather Channel, WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
Right now, it's 24 degrees under cloudy skies at 7:38.
All right, let's do Hobica's free money question of the day. Davey, this morning, it's $250 on the line. Super Bowl weekend. What number caller are you looking for?
Caller 7.
Seventh caller right now. Chance to win from Hobica and WIBX. Caller 7 at 315-736-0186 at WIBX.
It's time to stop letting road conditions dictate your journey. Nokian Tires all-weather tires are versatile enough for summer heat, spring rain, and winter snow, allowing you to forget the forecast so you can focus on the road ahead, not the road below. Forget the forecast with a year-round tire approved for winter use. Find Nokian Tires all-weather tires at Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair, with locations in Utica, Yorkville, Rome, and Herkimer. Learn more at tallmanstire.com.
The cold and windy weather isn't going away anytime soon. Don't get caught with an old, inefficient furnace. Today's the day to call Tri-County Heating and Air Conditioning at 315-829-4100. Need service for that furnace that's not working? Call Tri-County Heating and Air Conditioning at 315-829-4100 or check out their website, tri-countyheating.com. That's tri-countyheating.com. Stay warm and safe this season with Tri-County Heating and Air Conditioning.
WIBX.
This is Keeler.
WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Now back to the Keeler Show.
Any schools changed from delay to closure as of yet? No.
No, sure.
All right, so there you go.
Having some of this salsa.
He's busy eating the chica salita.
Might be my favorite.
Salsa. It is.
And the consistency.
It's such a good
With salsa, that's key.
It's really, really good. Perfect for your Super Bowl weekend event. Davey, your thumbs up as well? Yeah, you like it too.
Yeah, I got the mile. It's awesome.
Okay. By the way, the free money question of the day comes from Hobica. Joseph and Andrew Hobica, 315-724-1600 for all of your legal needs. Andy is an alien ready to take a shot at Hobica's money. Hello, Andy. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Bill.
You ready to go?
I'm as ready as I'm going to be.
Are you a sports fan?
Yeah, you could say that.
Okay. All right. This might work for you. All right. Here we go for $250. Here is your question. Who was the head coach for Syracuse football before Dino Babers? Ready, go.
Well, I guess I'm not that big of a sports fan.
Okay, so you don't know. You don't. Pick somebody.
No, I don't know it.
Anybody know?
It wasn't Marone because it was somebody
Marone would have been
before this person.
It was Marone, this person, and then Dino Babers. Davey, I bet Davey doesn't even know the answer to this. Davey, here's your question. Who was the head coach for Syracuse football before Dino Babers? He does not know the answer. Scott Schaefer.
Scott Schaefer.
Yeah. I feel bad. That was a tough question.
No, it wasn't.
That was tough.
For $250?
Nobody paid attention to that.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm going to do for you, Andy? Because it's Super Bowl weekend and I'm feeling generous, I'm going to give you a second question.
Oh, my gosh.
I want to give him a second question. I don't care about time. Time means nothing to me.
Time does mean something.
Okay. This will be worth $75.
Okay.
All right?
All right.
Here's your question. Who was the quarterback for Vince Lombardi? Ready, go.
Oh, God. I'm going to be angering sports fans all over the valley.
Okay, so I wouldn't know this one either, but it's a good question. I want to thank Ann for the question. It's a good one. Anybody know the answer to that? Davey knows. Bart Starr is the answer to that.
That's
right.
Green Bay.
I thought Andrew knew that, of course. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to give you the all-in-one food and fun card. It's a $25 gift card, good at the Comets games, Nexus, and, of course, Aquavino, Taylor and the Cook, Babes, any of those restaurants. So stand by. Davey's going to hook you up, Andy.
Hey, thanks, Bill. I appreciate everything.
Thank you, man. You enjoy the weekend. Don't go anywhere. Davey will take care of you. Here's Scott in Kirkville. Scott, I am told I am up against the clock here this morning. They're giving me 5 minutes with you, and we better make every minute count because, listen, Scott, not only is Scott dedicated and comes on the air for us, but he is trying not to wake up his spouse.
Oh.
So he's driving around the neighborhood in his car waiting to talk to us. So
I'm in my soundproof mobile studio right now.
There you go. That brings back memories.
Listen, I gotta say this though, guys.
Okay.
I have found a sport that it's right up my alley. They encourage drinking alcohol. It's called pickleball.
That is,
yeah.
I think they do, and I think they're all.
And it gets rough.
It gets
People
rough.
get
and
violent.
There are injuries because of it. Yeah.
And also we got another shout out for Weekends at Bernie's joke we told a long time ago. It was actually on Outnumbered. So Jimmy Fallon used it in his stand-up comedy in Rome, and Charlemagne mentioned it. So we have to give credit to the Bill Keeler show that started this whole thing in November when I mentioned the political movies that came out. And
I remember that. Yes.
Of course, Chuck Lester was the #1 movie, Rebel Without a Primary, and
Rebel Without a Primary. All right. Yeah. What do you suggest for this weekend? First of all,
top 3 prop bets.
Oh,
that's the interesting part. Is I thought maybe people might call in and ask what my opinion, because there's so many great prop bets.
Yeah.
It depends how you want to go. The first one that stuck out in my mind, and the problem is I do more or less with people because they can get hurt. Do not invest more in people than team stuff. But Barkley's carries is only 21.5. You think if Philadelphia's going to win this game, he's going over 21 carries. Mahomes is only 5, and that counts kneel downs. So think about it.
Wow.
If they're leading at the end of the game and takes a knee, it counts as a rushing attempt.
And let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. If the Eagles put the pressure on, Mahomes will have no choice but to run.
To run the ball.
Exactly. Yeah, and I think that could happen. That's a good one. That's a really good one.
And the thing is, this is what I looked at. Kansas City's offensive line is not that great. When you think Mahomes is evasive and he got sacked around 40 times.
Yeah.
I mean, Burrows, when they went to the Super Bowl against the Rams, was a pocket guy. You expect him to get hit and drop, but you don't think if Mahomes is that elusive and still gets sacked 40 times, looks like he's running for his life. Now, I like fringe players, guys. I've already put this in. I don't know if it's gone up or not, but the tight end for Philadelphia, Dallas Gilbert, I got him at 4 receptions and 40 yards. I think
Dallas Goedert, I think, is what he meant.
Is it Goddard?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I got him already. I like fringe players because the props aren't that big. Another one for Philadelphia is Gainwell. He's the backup running back. He's only 12 yards rushing and 12 yards receiving, and usually he comes in when in a passing situation. So take a look at that one too. That's what was that 4 so far?
Yeah.
Kansas City, I went with Pacheco over 25 yards rushing. I think I saw Marquise Brown only. You can get him at 40 yards receiving. I think
so those are all prop bets that you think are really good.
Yeah. And prop bets.
Yep. Go ahead.
I can't think of the guy's name. They just picked him up from Tennessee there. Hopkins.
Okay.
Only 15 yards receiving.
All right.
It's one
catch.
completion.
That could be one catch. Yep.
Could be one catch.
And then before I let you go, believe it or not, as bad as Syracuse is,
they're covering.
They are covered. They did not against Duke, but they are
not
covering.
Against Duke, but they don't cover against good teams. The only 2 they haven't covered in the last 10 games, I think, is Louisville and Duke. But they're so bad, but they're not as bad as Vegas thinks.
Right. And every once in a while, they play really well. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Stanford is 11.5. They lost by 9. They were actually a 5.5-point underdog to California. And just think about it. California was in Dallas the same night that Syracuse was playing Stanford. They spent more time on the West Coast than California did.
Yeah.
So I like that one. Of course, I can't believe they were 7.5-point favorite at home against underdog against Pittsburgh, 4.5 against Notre Dame, which they came back and won the game outright.
Are they favored? Are they favored against Boston College this weekend?
That is the interesting part. A lot of times in these basketball games, they don't really come out to the day of the game.
Okay, you're right.
It's a little different in football.
Yeah.
But I would say they probably maybe maybe a 5-6 point favorite, not the normal 20 points when you play Boston College at home, which is good.
Yeah. All right. Listen, Josh Allen winning the MVP. That was really cool. So
interesting.
Deserved, I think.
Since 87, the second All-Pro instead of a first-team All-Pro won it. That was the interesting part of the whole deal is you give it to Jackson as a first-teamer, but you don't give him the MVP. That's pretty interesting.
I do want to know early next week how well you did if you made some real money. So, all right, you let us know and call us back next week.
Absolutely. Another one, Hurts, 200. You can get as low as 175 passing, but I think he's going to an easy one could be maybe 200 yards passing, and his rushing total is only 37.
You love those individual prop bets a lot.
Yeah.
So, all right, Scott.
The other two
there's one more.
Philadelphia over 20 first downs, and just to have some fun, nobody's going to score in the first 6 minutes of the first quarter. I'm hoping that both teams are going to grind it out. Well,
okay.
That might be a little close, but that might be just the fun part.
All right. Nobody scores first 6 minutes for fun.
First 6 minutes.
Okay, love it. Thank you, man, and make some money this weekend.
We'll do.
Okay, thank you. That is Scott in Kirkville, and Syracuse covering as bad as they've been. That shows you you're an experienced bettor, and that's what you do. Quickly, I have Joe Lode with a weather update. Joe, where are you, and what are you looking at?
Okay, so I'm heading down Route 12, going south from Alder Creek. When you get to Shootbelt's Garage on Route 12, that's when it turns ugly. You got some open fields there between Remsen and Barneveld where you're getting a lot of blowing snow across Route 12, so be careful.
Okay.
When you get in here to Barneveld, it is blistery, and it is kind of a whiteout right now.
Yeah, that wind, it's very windy, and when the snow comes down with the squalls, it can be pretty bad. So, all right, Joe.
My suggestion is to close those schools and cancel all after-school activities.
All right, I will pass that along to all superintendents for you this morning.
Thanks very much. Be safe.
Thank you, Joe.
Be safe.
On the road. Another one on the road right now. She's driving out there. She is a big bettor. She's betting on Mike Galimi, and it's Samantha Colosimo Testa. On the budget and the proposed tax increase. Sam, good morning.
And the audit. The audit's a big topic,
Thanks
too.
for coming on. Good morning.
Yes, good morning, guys. How are you today?
Listen, I was seeing you were texting in yesterday while the mayor was on. You were commenting. You were all over. I was surprised you haven't. This is the first time this week you've called in. I was very surprised.
Well, I wanted to give the mayor the opportunity to speak his mind and let that be known, and I didn't want to interrupt it too. I didn't want to interrupt it too much, so I thought I did a great interview, and I had a conversation with him yesterday. He said you liked me in the morning and hated me by the afternoon when I proposed the budget.
Yeah, because I'll tell you right now,
it was pretty rough.
Anybody who thinks Sam blindly follows, or she was not happy about this proposed tax increase.
Did you just say Samantha blindly follows? Anyone?
I'm saying for those who say.
Yeah.
I know, and you know.
You're against this tax increase.
Well, yeah. I mean, and listen, this is the same thing that happened back in 2012, 2013, 2014. The mayor proposed a budget over the 2% tax cap, and then the Common Council had to do what they had to do in order to take it down. I mean, that's the reality of the budget, and the mayor had the opportunity to propose a lower tax increase, and he chose to stick with 9%. So, again, it's the Common Council's responsibility to either keep that at that 9% or to drop the budget down as much as they can.
In speaking to Bill Morehouse, he said that he feels it'll be somewhere around 9-10%, and when it's all said and done, after the council whittles away at it, it probably will be around 3 or 4%. Would you?
That's the goal. I mean, even with the tax cap right now, I think the levy was like $400-something thousand, which would be a little over 1%. So either way, even if we get that to that 2, 3, or 4% range, I think that's more reasonable than the 9%.
I'm glad that you understand. I'm glad that you understand. So many don't. The tax cap. So many people feel like it's a 4% tax cap, but it varies depending on your numbers, and that's the case here.
Well, that's what happened. So because taxes haven't been raised, the tax levy never would ever be able to be raised to that 2% component to even get us
or a 2% tax.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. So and we did have the audit presentation yesterday, and it was really damning to the city's financials in that 2024 year. On top of the fact that they blew through $60 million in ARPA funding, they overexpended the budget by close to $6 million. For three of it, which was done through, or 2.5 was done through a bond ordinance for paving, because at the time they said that we had the money in the ARPA fund, but we just needed to use to borrow the money at the time to cover that. So
how is it that during all that time we kept hearing from Mayor Palmieri that there was this big surplus?
Oh, his budget was about they spent down about 8% of our fund balance. So our fund balance went from about a 9%, level to where it should be, all the way down to 1% in the end of 2024. So I mean, they blew through some serious cash, Again, it goes back to the point where I voted no on the budget back in 2024 because I knew what was coming, and the fact that you had to foil information to get answers and this, that, and the third, I think was a serious problem. Not having a budget director, you had. Again, $3.4 million in expenditures of revenue that you had to borrow from, because we took $1.1 million out of our fund balance and then also expended that borrowing $2.4 million or $2.5 million. I mean, that's horrendous. And at the time they're telling you, oh, it's not in a bad financial situation, when you knew damn well it was in a bad financial situation. We saw it coming, and unfortunately, it was like, I'm trying to explain to people this is what's going on, and nobody wanted to listen. Mm-hmm. And that's that was the unfortunate part, because we actually got the numbers yesterday, and it was quite scary.
Yeah.
And you want to know what I put the blame on? I put the blame on the council members that extended Palmieri's term, because if he literally finished his 8 years and didn't get that extra 4, you wouldn't have seen yourself in this position, and the finances probably would have stopped. At that 4 years old, when he could have been done with those 8 years, that budget was not in a bad financial situation. It wasn't until his last 2 years where he used $1.3 million out of fund balance in 23, $1.1 million out of fund balance in 2024, and then also borrowed on top of all this.
Yeah.
So if you notice, even in the mayor's presentation, I haven't received the budget yet because it's still in front of E&A. Our debt service payment went up almost $3 million. Mm-hmm. So on top of the fact that they deferred payments, I mean, you eventually have to pay your bills.
Yeah.
And that's really what happened with the city. And, one of the things that the auditor mentioned yesterday was that, when people think they've got this flow of money, such as ARPA, and you spend it like you did, you think you have more money than you do. And obviously, they went through all that, and there's nothing left out of that, And then again, our budget's gone up, $11 million in 2 years, which is a serious problem without generating any type of revenue.
If there wasn't the tax increase at the level it was last year, where would we have been? And nobody likes tax increases. And
$4 million. It would have been $4 million of a deficit. We have no money left. I mean, that's the problem that you go to. Again, when you dwindle down your fund balance from 8% to 1% in 1 year, on top of overexpending your budget by $3.4 million, that's a serious problem.
This is the big problem for so many municipalities, and it happened in schools as well, where I think everybody was money heavy. You had all this money coming from the government, all of these funds that were coming in, and now that's all dried up.
And they were spoiled with no tax increase at all.
Yeah,
zero for 12 years.
It was actually lowered. Wow. You know what I mean? Like, that was lowered at that point in time with the taxes. You know what I mean?
And I'm almost out of time, but I want to add this one little element. Tony Pacini has, year after year, been able to do 0% tax increase. And how is that? How can he do that and not put the county in trouble? Well, the county executive has all of that slot money coming in from the United Nations. That is a huge. Without that deal with the Oneidas, the county would be having tax increases as well. So, all right,
100%, and that's one of the things that we've got to talk about is increase in aim funding, maybe redistribution of sales tax dollars, and so on and so forth in order to sustain it.
We'll do it again soon. Joe Beatrice coming in here in a second. Samantha.
Oh, I'm sorry, guys.
Have a great weekend. Thank you.
You too.
Thanks so much. All right.
The President's Day sales are on at Mattress Express. Save up to $1,350 on names like Puffy, Purple, Tempur-Pedic, Stearns & Foster, Sealy, and more. Take 5 years to pay with no money down for qualified buyers. No credit check payment plans available as well. Check out our new store in Auburn and our new staff in Oswego. Go to mattressexpressny.com. If you're considering a bed where you can pick a number on each side and make it soft or firm, compare to the Smart Bed by Instant Comfort only at Mattress Express. Compare price, compare features, and compare warranty. A 25-year industry-leading warranty with 45 individual settings on each side. Then 5 years, no interest, no money down for qualified buyers, and then you choose from a list of luxury rewards. Go to mattressexpressny.com for locations.
Uncertainty, the unknown. These can be some of the greatest fears people face. There is a chance for a life of greater certainty that the Rome Rescue Mission provides. We call it a hand up, not a handout. The Rome Rescue Mission provides the basic necessities and the skills needed to start a new life. It starts simply with someone to talk to. Knowing that someone cares, the Rome Rescue Mission strives to meet basic needs, food, shelter, and clothing, but more importantly, provides emotional and spiritual support. The Rome Rescue Mission helps people start a new and promising life. Being in need is not a choice. Helping is. An unlimited future starts at the Rome Rescue Mission through your generous support. Make a difference and donate now. RomeMission.org. That's RomeMission.org. Rome Rescue Mission. A hand up, not a handout.
From the Stanley Theater Studio, WIBX Utica, Rome.
W295EI.
WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM, a Town Square media station.
It's been quite a week at USAID. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News, and it's about to end today with much of the staff at the Agency for International Development put on administrative leave.
The United States will be providing foreign aid, but it is going to be foreign aid that makes sense and is aligned with our national interests.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio, as the Trump administration tries to rein in what's considered out-of-control spending in an agency the president says is run by lunatics. Fox's Lucas Tomlinson reports.
USAID is being folded into the State Department. More than 10,000 will lose their jobs tonight at midnight. Unions representing the workers say these actions have generated a global humanitarian crisis by abruptly halting the crucial work of USAID employees, grantees, and contractors.
Those unions have filed a lawsuit, and Reuters has just reported that there will be about 600 USAID workers who will remain considered essential. Much of the rest of the federal workforce now has until Monday night to consider President Trump's buyout offer to resign and be paid through September, after a federal judge temporarily blocked last night's deadline to hold a hearing Monday on a legal challenge to the buyout offer.
White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt says more than 40,000 employees have so far accepted the deal.
We'll find highly competent individuals who want to fill these roles.
Leavitt says the administration is grateful, so more federal workers who refuse to show up to the office can take the administration up on a very generous, once-in-a-lifetime offer.
Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House. And while Democrats keep trying to stop Elon Musk and his Department of Government Efficiency, claiming he's illegally getting access to federal agencies and data while trying to cut spending, Senate Republicans confirmed someone else Democrats don't like. Russell Vought is director of the Office of Management and Budget.
All 47 Democrats protesting the nomination, holding the Senate floor throughout the previous night, calling Vought the president's most dangerous nominee, citing as helping to write the Heritage Foundation's Project 2025 policies.
Fox's Kristen Goodwin. In Alaska, the search continues for a plane that went missing with 10 people on board. America's listening to Fox News.
It's time to throw out your overpriced big wireless contract. Throw it overboard. You can get an iPhone 14 or a Samsung Galaxy for $0 with a qualifying plan of just $45 a month. Get unlimited talk, unlimited text, 25 gigs of data, mobile hotspot. You get all of it. So get your new iPhone 14 or Samsung Galaxy for $0. Just dial pound 250, say the keyword Pure Talk, pound 250, keyword Pure Talk from Pure Talk, America's wireless company.
He's coming.
Surprise! Your table saw broke. Also, the warranty expired weeks ago, so you need to pay for a new one out of pocket.
At Progressive, we know small business owners don't usually like surprises because they cost you money. But a good surprise that could save you money? Getting a commercial auto quote from Progressive.
Oh, and the replacement part you ordered doesn't fit, so it's completely useless. What a waste.
Surprise yourself. See if you can save in as little as 7 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Today is the deadline for government officials to present a plan under a Trump executive order to release all the files in President Kennedy's 1963 assassination.
As of 2022, about 97% of the 5 million files were already released to the public, according to the National Archives. But former President Biden delayed the rest, saying that further review is necessary to protect against harm to intelligence sources, military defense, and foreign relations. President Trump's executive order mandates that the Attorney General and Director of National Intelligence present a plan to release all of what's left.
Well, that's Fox's Jackie Heinrich at the White House. Later this hour, we'll get the monthly jobs report expected to show a slowdown in hiring in January, with the unemployment rate predicted to remain 4.1%. That report could affect the stock market. For now, futures and mix not moving much. Now an update on what was a huge story when it broke last year for Major League Baseball. And it put star Dodgers player Shohei Ohtani under gambling scrutiny. Now, he was cleared of wrongdoing, but his interpreter was not, after taking money from Ohtani for sports betting. And now Fox's Joe Morgan reports.
Shohei Ohtani's former interpreter, Ippei Mizuhara, has been sentenced to 4 years and 9 months in prison for bank and tax fraud after stealing nearly $17 million from Ohtani's bank account. Mizuhara was sentenced in federal court in Santa Ana, California, and also was ordered to pay $18 million in restitution.
Days before the Super Bowl, the NFL handed out regular season awards, and Josh Allen won the most prestigious one. The Buffalo Bills quarterback edged out Lamar Jackson as the NFL MVP.
I know this is an individual award, and it says most valuable player on it, but I think it's derived from team success, and I love my team, and it takes everybody.
The other AP award winners, Minnesota's Kevin O'Connell, Coach of the Year, Denver's Patrick Surtain, the NFL's Defensive Player of the Year, and Saquon Barkley, Offensive Player of the Year. His Philadelphia Eagles will play the Kansas City Chiefs in the Super Bowl on Sunday. I'm Dave Anthony. This is Fox News.
Good morning, WIBX 950 AM 92.3 FM news time 8:05. I'm Andrew Derminio. 23 degrees now under cloudy skies. Feels a bit colder. Your full weather forecast is coming up. This update brought to you by Chica Salida's Salsa, as we've been enjoying it in studio here this morning.
You're eating it. That's
mere
why you're
moments
talking
ago.
about it.
It's on the mind.
That's on the mind. Okay.
It is delicious.
It is really good. And, you know, the reality is we love to support local products. And I just have a feeling this local product someday is going to end up being a product that's available everywhere. Everywhere.
I believe.
It is really, really good and authentic.
Yummy.
Love it. Okay, Andrew with the news.
Utica
Mayor Mike Galimi unveiled his budget proposal Thursday for the 25-26 fiscal year, which included a total of $91.6 million for expenses and a proposed 9.77% property tax increase for Uticans. From the total, public safety will be allocated over $60 million, and general city expenses will be allocated over $11.6 million. The city's Board of Estimate and Apportionment has until February 20th to review Galimi's proposed budget and make any changes. Afterwards, it will be sent to the Utica Common Council, who will have the last say on the budget. The council has the authority to make any further amendments, which must be voted on by March 20th.
According to Mike this morning, that increase is a tough one, and it's one difficult one to swallow. But it also comes with the addendum that every Utican over the age of 21 gets a free beer token at the Dinghy Bar. So that'll offset a lot of it.
It'll pay back in spades.
Yeah, sorry.
A Utica woman was arrested on felony forgery charges. Police say a female suspect was brought to the department in November for one count of criminal trespass. Authorities say as the suspect was being booked, she did not provide her name and instead claimed to be a relative of hers, signing the electronic form to attest she was that other person. A warrant was then issued for that individual who did not appear in court, and the Criminal Investigations Division learned the suspect had lied about her identity. Police located and charged 27-year-old Amanda Farda with second-degree forgery as well as second-degree criminal trespass.
The Super Bowl is coming up Sunday, and law enforcement statewide will be working to ensure people get to and from their big game parties safely. The annual Super Bowl week crackdown on dangerous and impaired drivers is underway, and it runs through Sunday. During last year's campaign, a total of almost 8,400 tickets were issued. Anyone who spots suspicious activity on the roadways are asked to call 911 immediately. And lung cancer is being diagnosed in more people who have never smoked. A study published in the Lancet Respiratory Medicine Journal looked at lung cancer cases from around the world from 2022 and found it was the 5th largest cause of cancer deaths among lifelong non-smokers. The researchers said the biggest contributing factor for those cases was air pollution, which could account for up to 70%. As of 2019, most of the world population lived in areas with air quality levels below standards set by the World Health Organization. It is 8:08. Here's your forecast from Ray.
We got wind and snow with a winter weather advisory and a wind advisory. Squally weather this morning, reduced visibilities, and maybe a couple of inches of accumulating snowfall. We're getting some lake-enhanced snow, too, so some lake effect could mean some of those totals could exceed 6 inches in some spots. We'll roll on through the nighttime hours tonight, and we'll see some more snow showers. Cloudy 30 tomorrow. More snow Saturday night, maybe more accumulating snow, especially south. I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic from the Weather Channel, WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
Right now, 24 under cloudy skies. It's 8:09. In sports, it is the big matchup. The biggest matchup of the year, arguably, probably in sports. Super Bowl 59 will see the Kansas City Chiefs and Eagles square off from the Caesars Superdome. Kansas City is in uncharted territory in NFL history after becoming, actually, this is false, and I was corrected on this. Kansas City is not the first team in NFL history to make 3 consecutive big game appearances. That was the Buffalo Bills. They made 4. It was not the outcome that they would have liked or that the Kansas City Chiefs have had, but nonetheless, the Bills have made 4 straight Super Bowls.
This would be winning 3, and no one has ever done that, right?
Correct.
Okay.
The team that stands in their way is the same one that helped Kansas City's quest for a 3rd straight title. The Eagles are eyeing revenge against Patrick Mahomes and Chiefs Nation for a Super Bowl 57 loss 2 years ago in Glendale. Giants legend Eli Manning has been snubbed from Canton. Manning was not named part of the Pro Football Hall of Fame class of 2025 on Thursday. The 2-time Super Bowl champion was in his first year of eligibility after spending 16 years with the G-Men. He threw for over 57,000 yards and 366 touchdowns in his career and was named MVP of Super Bowl 42 and 46. The players that did make it into Canton, however, Eric Allen, a cornerback who played for the Philadelphia Eagles, Saints, and Raiders. Jared Allen, a defensive end for the Chiefs, Vikings, Bears, and Panthers. Antonio Gates, a tight end who spent his entire career with the Chargers organization, first in San Diego, then to Los Angeles. And Green Bay Packers wide receiver Sterling Sharp, who had his incredible career unfortunately shortened due to a significant neck injury. Syracuse basketball will be at the JMA Wireless Dome tomorrow at 3:15 on the CW. You can watch them take on Boston College. The Utica Comets will be on the road tonight in Syracuse, taking on the Crunch. They will host Belleville at home tomorrow night for a 7 o'clock puck drop at the Adirondack Bank Center. Utica City FC has a big game tonight at home. I'm not sure what time that start is, but
isn't that it? I think that has a Star Wars. Is it Star Wars? No, it's a Taylor Swift theme.
Oh,
there's a whole bunch of a whole bunch of giveaways and all that stuff that's going on at the Odd tonight. All right, a couple of comments. I have one for you from Deeds regarding the salsa. Chica Salita. And it's available in your stores, but now available on Amazon. Bill, I love your predictions, but you also stated that you thought that mashup song from SNL was going to be some kind of a monster chart topper. You were really into that song, but you were wrong. I hope that prediction on the salsa is not as bad as your one on the mashup.
Well, I'll tell you right now, the salsa has a good shot.
Let me just correct you, Deeds, in New Hartford. While it has not hit radio, and I blame that on the fact that there are no independent minds in radio anymore. It's all done by, like Clear Channel or iHeart or whatever. Yeah. You have one programmer that decides what all of their stations is going to play. I don't know if that's true, but it could be. I do want to tell you that it is already something everyone is talking about on TikTok. It is one of the top chart songs on TikTok, and it is, as of last week, 5 days ago, it was 16.1 million views. I don't know what that means, but that's a lot. So it is a hit on TikTok. And if she can get 16.1 million people to buy that salsa, my guess is she'd make some money.
Indeed.
I think that would be pretty darn good. I'm just saying. Let me break. And coming up, Joe Beatrice is telling us right now, after years of working for Coca-Cola, he will, on this program, do the blind Pepsi challenge. He is committed to it.
Not.
We're doing it next week.
I don't
And he is going to do it. And he says, he guarantees that he will pick Coke. We'll talk to Joe coming right up at WIBX.
It's time to stop letting road conditions dictate your journey. Nokian Tires all-weather tires are versatile enough for summer heat, spring rain, and winter snow, allowing you to forget the forecast so you can focus on the road ahead, not the road below. Forget the forecast with a year-round tire approved for winter use. Find Nokian Tires all-weather tires at Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair, with locations in Utica, Yorkville, Rome, and Herkimer. Learn more at tallmanstire.com.
Hey everyone, it's Lisa here from Fit Body Bootcamp. February is Heart Health Month, and we're here to remind you how important it is to take care of your heart. At Fit Body Bootcamp, we know that heart health is key to overall wellness, and we're proud to support Go Red for Women this month. Every workout you do strengthens not just your muscles, but also your heart. Whether it's breaking a sweat in a high-energy session or committing to a healthy lifestyle, small choices make a big impact. Let's come together this month and take care of our hearts. At Fit Body Bootcamp, we want you to live your best life.
Hers weight loss is not available everywhere. Compounded products are not FDA approved or verified for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription required. Restrictions apply. Wegovy and Ozempic are not compounded.
Everyone's talking about the breakthrough of weight loss drugs, but too few can access or afford them. Hers is changing that. At forhers.com/radio, you can access doctor-trusted weight loss treatments tailored to you, like GLP-1 weekly injections with the same active ingredient as Ozempic and Wegovy, or oral medications at a fraction of the price. That's right. You'll save up to 91% per month on compounded semaglutide based on pricing through Hers, the same active ingredient as the name brand drug at 91% less. There's no hidden fees and no membership fees, just one low, transparent price. And the process is 100% online. If prescribed, your personalized plan ships free directly to your door. Get started at forhers.com/radio to access affordable doctor-trusted weight loss plans that put you first. That's forhers.com/radio. FORHERS.com/radio.
Registration for America's Greatest Heart Run and Walk is now open, and they're looking to break fundraising and race records. The event returns to Utica University on March 8th, so sign up now for the 18-mile, 10-mile, or 3-mile race at uticaheartrunwalk.org. Join the American Heart Association's mission in raising money to improve and promote heart health in the Mohawk Valley. This year's goal is to raise $1 million. Sign up to race or donate now at uticaheartrunwalk.org.
This is Keeler in the Morning. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Back to the green room with you.
I want to say our former boss, Karen, piping in here this morning. Josh Allen is the NFL MVP. What a class act. And she's absolutely right.
That's coming from one class act about another.
True. That is very true. I'm just going to respond by sending a thumbs up. Ooh, I'm sorry. I sent the moon. I don't know why I did that. I just hit the wrong button. These icons on these phones, they shouldn't put something next to something that you always, there should be just one icon. My fingers are too big for this. Let me send the thumbs up now.
Really quickly, It's been nice to see, we've made great progress with Councilwoman Aiello. She went from not liking us and not participating in our program to now she's a regular on the YouTube feed.
I'm glad to see
commenting.
that.
She says this morning, if we blew through ARPA funds, why were we making sure we had the millions of ARPA left appropriately allocated by December 31st, 2024, so we wouldn't have to give it back?
It is a very interesting divide between Republicans and Democrats on that council. Okay, let me go to Joe Beatrice. And Joe, good morning. Joe is on the. What are your thoughts, Joe, on the tax increase and all of that? Where are you?
So I have to agree with Samantha. 9.75 is very high, and I'm very proud of the council. Now instead of doing what they did last year, where Katie came in with 37 amendments that 4 ended up passing, we have 3 meetings scheduled. I think the 24th, 25th, and 26th to go line by line, and I'm very confident that we will be able to move it down. And I just have to kind of laugh where Mayor Galimi came in last year and got tortured about this budget increase. And can you imagine if we didn't raise it, where we would be this year?
Right. I agree with that. Yeah.
I have to say, the 2 interviews, Mayor Galimi's interview yesterday, when I hear this word transparency, his picture, that interview, those first 3-4 minutes or 5 minutes of that interview should be next to the word transparency in the dictionary, because I've never seen anybody come out and be as honest and forthcoming as that. And then this morning with Sam, she came on there very quickly. I have to tell you, she can talk so fast and spins numbers better than anybody that listen, on last two weeks, my wife has to come downstairs and grab the phone and say, council people, it's time to go to bed. But Sam, okay. So if we know Sam, you have to love her. She talked last night and she made so much sense. But my question at the end of the day, when we went around the room, the gentleman that was running the audit for the Bandero or whatever the company's name is, I asked him, do you agree what council person Colosimo Testa said? Okay, so I wanted that out there. So we can't come through and say that's not true. They spin this. She was 100% right.
Did he agree? Did he or she agree?
Yes,
okay.
He did. And the other question I asked our budget director, okay, because we kept hearing it from a certain council person that there's money in ARPA. If they don't spend it, we're going to lose it. We have all our ARPA money is allocated. You had to have it allocated toward projects. So the projects may have started in 24, okay, but not done yet. But that money's still allocated. So nobody was hiding money, and it's just so, I don't even know the word I want to use. It bothers me so much that they go after this mayor like I've never seen before. I sat on the council for 4 years. I never said a bad word about Mayor Palmieri. I respected the office. He was my daughter's basketball coach. I'm not telling you I didn't agree with him, but I went in his office and I argued with him man to man. I never came on the radio and trashed him. I never did any of that stuff, and it bothers me. It bothers me nationally that what goes on too. But that's just the way I am, and I'm not saying everybody should have to do that. But
all right, Joe, I appreciate that, and you are now on the record saying that. So thank you.
It's good that the 24th, 25th, and 26th. Hopefully, it can be a civil council meeting to try to pare this down and work together.
And with that said, I'm wondering if I ask you a question, will you answer honestly?
Yeah, we want to get you on the record on this.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Will you come in next week?
Hold on.
Are we recording this? Will you come in next week? I know you're very confident. Will you come in next week and take the blind Pepsi challenge?
Bill, next week I will be out of the country, and that's the truth. I'm going to be in a warm place. I'm leaving Sunday morning.
Nice excuse.
Well, I mean, if you want where I am, We can do. I'll set it up. You can do it on YouTube, or you can set it up.
We'll
virtually.
Listen. We'll wait for you to come back.
You're worth the wait, Joe. You're worth the wait.
Now be careful. These airplanes these days.
Stop it! My God,
I'm just nervous about getting on one. I got to get on one soon. I'm nervous about it.
You'll be fine.
There was another one yesterday. Did you see it?
It was a
prank.
The way I look, I'll probably be spending my vacation in Syracuse.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. We'll come to Syracuse while you wait during your delay. Okay, when you get back, will you come in studio and do the blind Coke/Pepsi challenge?
Well, here's what I got to do. I got to bring somebody with me to make sure you're not putting 2 Pepsis there.
That's fine. That is absolutely.
You need an independent auditor.
And I know how you operate. You know what I mean? You'll love to.
Listen, and I will. We'll call it the placebo test, and I will tell you that you can have a person here, but they cannot be in the studio. Because they might wink at you or something, wink twice for the Coke or something. So we'll do it, and it'll come out of a can. So it'll be fresh, directly out of a can, both sitting in the same refrigerator, both cold, same temperature. Will you commit to doing it when you return?
I will.
All right.
I will. How's that?
Now, for those who don't know, Joe Beatrice counts. Thank you. For those who do not know, Joe Beatrice, for his entire career, worked for Coca-Cola, and he's known as Coca-Cola Joe to many. All right, we've gone through all of this. Please plug your softball thing, and then we'll let you go.
So here's the reason I'm calling. I think you have Sal Barbero on. He comes on. He does a great job for the baseball. I'm been a softball official since 2009. Okay, the difference between our board and what they do, theirs goes through the whole summer. Ours is just a high school board.
Okay.
Where the pay is the same. Ours basically, you take the classes in February. Softball starts if your first couple years, it would start the second week in April and it's done the second week in June. The reason I'm calling is I am the assigner. I assign the games, and we're like every other association. We're short people, and we'd like to recruit new people. And it's a great way to be outside to make, it's very, like, for example, I got this written down here. Like you would start out doing modified or JV games your first year.
Okay.
If you do a modified game in softball, it's $70 plus $18.75 travel. So it's together. It's $88.75. JV game would be $80 and $18.75 is $98.75. And a varsity game, when you move up to varsity, it's $100 plus $18.75 is $118.75.
Not too shabby.
Yeah,
it's not too shabby.
And to be honest with you, your modified games, you start out, they're a little bit longer sometimes. They're roughly probably 2 hours. When you get to the varsity game, a good varsity game is probably, hour 20, hour 30 minutes.
Right.
Some go to 2 hours. Never more than 2 hours, and you shouldn't really be worried about the time. You should be doing it because you love it. But I'm just saying it's a great way to make money.
And it's probably enjoyable to get out there and ump these games. How do people?
I will tell you one. I will tell you one other thing too, because a lot of stuff about umpiring. Umpires don't want to get out there because a lot of times parents are crazy. You know how that goes.
I know.
In the high school levels, and I've done both. In the high school levels, you don't really see that at all because there's sight monitors, and it's a little bit more controlled than a little league or a girls softball league where parents are all over the place. So I just want to tell you that don't be intimidated by that.
All right.
And can I just tell you when the classes are and who they can contact?
I'd love you to do that.
Okay, so starting, and here's the other thing. It's 3 weeks, 2 classes a week.
Okay.
So they start February 11th, the 11th, the 13th, the 18th, the 20th, 25th, and 27th, and they're from 6 o'clock to 7:30 at the New Hartford Legion.
Okay.
And they can email me, and I'll give my email out at jnb4461@yahoo.com, and I will forward it to the person running the class. Or my phone number is public. They know they can get my number. I mean, I'll give it out.
All right, what is your phone number? Yep, 315.
315-534.
Yep.
3667.
Okay.
And they can call me, and I'll forward it to the person who's running the class for them.
And you'd be doing modified JV and high school softball. Really cool. Okay, great job.
That's all we do is the softball from the spring season, and it's over. The summer, there's a different association does the summer ball for the girls and stuff.
All right, Joe Beatrice, you have a wonderful trip. Where are you going, by the way?
Safe.
Where are you heading?
I don't know. I'm going to Aruba. Okay, I didn't really want to say it.
Good for you.
Oh yeah, nice.
Yeah. Listen, like a true
vacation.
Like a true Italian. Nice. He's going to Aruba.
Hey, listen, I'm half Lebanese. I'm only half Italian.
Okay, all right. You're going to love it.
Was Lebanese.
He'll be back for the important meetings. Don't worry.
All right. Thank you, Joe.
And the taste test.
Bill, wait, I'll tell you one funny story. My wife's listening now. When I come back through customs, and you got to go through customs, last year they pulled me out of line in the American customs and in the Arubian customs, and took me in the room, and they must have thought I was a terrorist. Or
You were discriminated against.
Wow.
I got pulled out of line twice. So I told her this morning, what are the odds I'm going to get pulled out this year?
I would say the odds are probably pretty good, right? Yeah. Yeah. All right. Good luck. Safe travels, okay?
All right. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much, Joe. Bye. All right, quickly, some comments. What do you have?
Just in response, so Congresswoman Katie Aiello's comment about ARPA, and Sam responded quickly. It's apparent Katie doesn't understand anything about government and finances. She is a cancer to the city and was proven wrong multiple times. I'm tired of talking about her because it's more about Katie than it is for the city. Self-absorbed.
Who made that comment?
Samantha.
Okay. The two of them, we should put them in a ring and let them go at it.
In the category of tell us how you really feel.
Quick break. We'll come back. Paul Buckley will ruin everything this morning. He's going to get nuts here in the studio. Coming up at WIBX.
Warner Sales and Service. Building relationships. Building trust.
This is Lynn from Warner Sales and Service. Mow like a pro with Hustler Turf Zero-Turn Mowers. Hustler mowers are designed to be maintenance and service-friendly for the everyday homeowner while not sacrificing the build and cut quality they're known for. Come see us at Warner Sales and Service on the Greenway New London Road in Rome, and we'll guide you to the right mower for your property and your budget.
Uncertainty, the unknown. These can be some of the greatest fears people face. There is a chance for a life of greater certainty that the Rome Rescue Mission provides. We call it a hand up, not a handout. The Rome Rescue Mission provides the basic necessities and the skills needed to start a new life. It starts simply with someone to talk to. Knowing that someone cares. The Rome Rescue Mission strives to meet basic needs, food, shelter, and clothing, but more importantly, provides emotional and spiritual support. The Rome Rescue Mission helps people start a new and promising life. Being in need is not a choice. Helping is. An unlimited future starts at the Rome Rescue Mission through your generous support. Make a difference and donate now. RomeMission.org. That's RomeMission.org. Rome Rescue Mission. A hand up, not a handout.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting great candidates? Well, they're not hard to find when you go to ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. People who are actively looking for jobs like yours. So it's easy to find the right person fast. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
It was him. Here's Andrew with an update.
Good morning, WIBX 950 AM 92.3 FM News Time 8:32. I'm Andrew Dominio. Cloudy skies, 23 degrees. This update brought to you by Chica Salitas seasoning and salsa. Oh boy, is it delicious. Utica Mayor Mike Galimi presented his 2025-2026 fiscal year budget proposal on Thursday, which included a total of $91.6 million for expenses and a 9.77% proposed property tax increase. Of the total $91.6 million budget, $11.6 million will go towards general city expenses. $5.6 million will be allocated for the Department of Public Works. The city's Board of Estimate and Apportionment has until February 20th to review the proposed budget and make any changes. Afterwards, it will be sent to the Utica Common Council, who will have the last say on that budget. The council has the authority to make any further amendments, which must be voted on by March 20th. Congresswoman Claudia Tenny has announced she's making the decision to temporarily close down her offices in the 24th Congressional District. The Republican says there have been 3 separate incidents lately where her staff were targeted by intimidation or threats of violence. Tenny says she's appalled by what has happened and is asking for folks to express their First Amendment rights in a compassionate and peaceful way. One of the offices that shut down is located in Oswego. A Utica woman was arrested on felony forgery charges. Police say a female suspect was brought to the department in November for 1 count of criminal trespass. Authorities say as the suspect was being booked, she did not provide her name and instead claimed to be a relative of hers and signed the electronic form to attest she was that other person. A warrant was then issued for that individual who did not appear in court, and the Criminal Investigations Division learned the suspect had lied about her identity. Police located and charged 27-year-old Amanda Farda with second-degree forgery as well as second-degree criminal trespass. And one estimate predicts people will spend a record $27.5 billion this Valentine's Day. That would beat out the $27.4 billion record set in 2020. According to a survey from the National Retail Federation and Prosper Insights and Analytics, the top places people will spend their money are online, followed by department stores and florists. A little more than half of consumers say they'll celebrate Valentine's Day this year. It is 8:34. Here is your forecast from Ray.
We've got wind and snow with a winter weather advisory and a wind advisory. Squally weather this morning, reduced visibilities, and maybe a couple of inches of accumulating snowfall. We're getting some lake enhanced snow too, so some lake effect could mean some of those totals could exceed 6 inches in some spots. We'll roll on through the nighttime hours tonight, and we'll see some more snow showers. Cloudy 30 tomorrow, more snow Saturday night, maybe more accumulating snow, especially south. I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic from the Weather Channel, WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
Right now it's 23 under cloudy skies at 8:35.
I've been hearing from Deeds this morning about the SNL mashup, the 50-year anniversary mashup, which you are the one that actually,
Yes.
Paul,
Yes.
told me about, and it's like killing it right now on TikTok. It's like one of the top songs on TikTok.
But I couldn't find it on TV last night on request. I couldn't find it. It was there, but it's not up yet. I don't know. Maybe it's operator error. Probably. That's what it
it's
is.
all over TikTok, though.
Yeah.
And I mean,
Yeah.
like
It's
I've
great.
got a little piece of it right here. I can play it. Listen to how good this is.
That's me in the corner.
This one, I thought this was brilliant how they did this.
Like losing my religion. Hey baby, it's you. Come on, girl, now it's you.
You know, they say it took Questlove 1 year
to do this?
To put this whole thing
It's
together.
50 years of footage. Come on.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. Good God. Rick James, man. If you've ever seen the documentary about Rick James and the fight between him and who was the comedian, it is unbelievable. You must check that out. Anyway, that's the SNL mashup. The Falcon Clinic in Washington Mills is accepting new patients right now. We have a couple that was listening, asked us about it. We said, for what you're dealing with, you should try the Falcon Clinic, and they did. And they say it's completely changed their life. Dr. Zielinski, Dr. Shemaleski, others, all under one roof, from counseling to acupuncture to if you're just in need of a new family doctor. It's the area's premier osteopathic medical clinic. It's the Falcon Clinic. Call 315-507-4600. 4751. And Ricky Z says, Steep Potty, the New Year New Mazda sales event is continuing. They've increased their inventory with over 150 new Mazdas available. Save on a new Mazda lease or enjoy 0.9% APR financing on new 2025 Mazda CX-30s, 5s, 50s, 70s, and the CX-90. See everybody over there at the dealership or anybody at the dealership to help you out for details. As Rick says, let's make your deal on a new Mazda from the dealership that's achieved first place nationally in customer satisfaction. Steep Potty Mazda, Commercial Drive in Yorkville. If you're watching on YouTube and you look really closely, you'll see Paul Buckley's disgust at having to wait. Just check him out. He's on there right now. You can see him
I was told 8:15.
Not
by me, you weren't.
Rolling his eyes every time I
I'm not worried. Bob Morris has a real job to get back to, okay?
To the next element, which, by the way, we're taking a break before we get to you.
Are you kidding me?
Coming up, Paul Buckley.
We'll call you then.
In just a mere 2 minutes and 17 seconds coming up.
Goodness.
Want selection on your next mattress? At Mattress Express, we have Tempur-Pedic, Stearns & Foster, Sealy, Purple, Puffy, the Smart Bed by Instant Comfort, Posh and Lavish, and more. No one else in New York State has all these brands under one roof, open 7 days a week.
Taxes was not knowing your full financial picture. Now Taxes is getting and maximizing your refund all in one place. Credit Karma, where a TurboTax expert can do your taxes for you. They'll get you the most money back, guaranteed. Then you can do more with all that money, all in Credit Karma. Now this is Taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. Get started today. See guarantee details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Experts only available with TurboTax Live.
Hey, if you have ugly yellow toe fungus, you got to hear about the secret 2-minute trick that I found for my husband. It works from both the inside and the outside. Thousands of people are using it to get rid of their toe fungus. You can check it out at crystalflesh.com. Jake started off with a small spot on his big toe and then it spread and got really bad. His toes were nasty. It was so embarrassing. He was afraid to take his socks off. He hid his yellow and crumbly toes from everyone. He tried everything to get rid of it. Nothing helped. And then we found crystalflesh.com. It was the only thing that worked. In just a few weeks, his toes looked amazing. He's now walking around barefoot again. You guys need to try this. I'm telling you, this stuff is different. It's not sold in stores, but go check it out at crystalflesh.com. They'll even let you try it risk-free so you have nothing to lose. But whatever you do, don't let it get worse. You don't have to live with this anymore. Go check it out now. Just click over to crystalflesh.com.
Hey everyone, it's Lisa here from Fit Body Boot Camp. February is Heart Health Month, and we're here to remind you how important it is to take care of your heart. At Fit Body Boot Camp, we know that heart health is key to overall wellness, and we're proud to support Go Red for Women this month. Every workout you do strengthens not just your muscles, but also your heart. Whether it's breaking a sweat in a high-energy session or committing to a healthy lifestyle, small choices make a big impact. Let's come together this month and take care of our hearts. At Fit Body Boot Camp, we want you to live your best life.
WIBX. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
Coming up in a few minutes, we'll get to Paul Buckley right now. Let me go to Willie Waffle, who's standing by on the line's right. I'm kidding.
Oh my goodness!
It's a joke.
You didn't hear Bob's joke
So
about your documentary, did you?
Oh, what
he said? We'll run it if we have time.
Yeah, well, then I'll make it 15 minutes.
Yeah. Buckley brings out the worst.
Revenge is just so sweet.
Well, no, I'm not having you help me on it.
All right. Well, hey, whatever you need. Whatever you need.
That is it.
We all know Bob runs things
Davey.
at Munson, okay? He's going to
run
be
my
fine.
corner of Munson.
Paul Buckley is in studio. Paul is the film czar for the city of Utica.
We had the border czar on earlier, so now we've got
It's a czar day.
Yeah. What are we promoting here today?
Well, I brought along with my buddy here, Bob Mortis from Munson. and he's got an announcement to make about the Oscar shorts. It'll be airing the end of beginning of next month. And I'm just going to give it to you because we're running short on time here, Bob. So why don't you take over?
Well, that's okay. If we let you keep talking, we'll definitely be bummed.
That is true. Good
to get to the point, we are having a weekend of Oscar-nominated shorts, March 1st and 2nd. It's
What constitutes a short film? What is it? How long can it be?
Well, the documentaries are all about 30 minutes long, so I'm saying that's probably the limit.
Kind of what I'm thinking for the one I'm working on.
Yeah.
But all the rest of them are between 15 and 20. Some are even as short as 5 minutes. But these are the best in animated, live action, and documentary short films from around the world. There's filmmakers from the Netherlands, Serbia, France.
It's
US.
a big category. It really
it's
is
a huge
big
category. And what's
yeah.
great about it is that these directors that you see are, really making their mark in short film all over the world are the ones that you're going to see the next generation of great directors.
Yeah,
These are the ones who are going to be tapped to headline the big productions coming up, or even your favorite indie foreign language films. These are the ones that are going to be they're the next generation of great filmmakers.
There's been some very unique films I think that have, whether it's made it to streaming or, the streaming category is just incredible now. But it is amazing when someone, I guess what I'm saying is people that never would have had the opportunity to create artwork through film now have the opportunity to do it. It is a crowded field. We talked about that a little bit the other day, but it's interesting. And every once in a while you come across something where you're like, who is this person? This is incredible. Yep. And that's a lot of what you're going to be able to show.
Sure. So on March 1st and 2nd, we're showing the same program each day. So you have 2 opportunities to experience it, starting first thing in the morning. It's a full day of film if you want to enjoy it. We'll start with the live action at 10:15 a.m. Then we'll show the animated shorts at 12:25. And then we'll move into the documentaries at 2:25. And that's also the weekend of the Oscar telecast. So if you come Saturday or Sunday, you go home Sunday night, you can see who wins right there on your television screen.
How much is it?
It's graded because if you only want to come to one, it's like $7-8.
Yeah.
But if you want to come to all of them, it's between $13 and $16. But it's very affordable.
Yeah, that's nothing.
So if you want to come all day, $16 is the top price, and we're going to take breaks in between each of the screenings with some light refreshments.
Okay, nice.
It'll be nice. You can come up and have a cup of coffee or a drink or water, lemonade.
And that is March
cookies and stuff.
1st and 2nd.
That's awesome.
Yeah, March 1st and 2nd.
Okay.
Yeah.
Paul, do you want to add anything? I can't believe you've gone this long without talking.
Well, then that was Bob did it. They're all in one breath.
I know.
By the way,
I had to.
He nailed it. Yeah.
I was going to take halfway through that. I was going to take Buck's pulse just to make sure he was still with us. He's still quiet.
Boy, oh boy, what is it? Beat up on Buckley Day?
Yeah, boy.
So anyway, I went last year. A good friend of mine, Honoring Wallach, talked me into going to the movie, and my wife and I, we all went. The shorts are fantastic. These are great. They're like the 20-minute formats, and these are the films that you walk out and there's discussion, endless discussion about these things. Yeah. And there's like a myriad of interpretations of these films. Very poignant, and I encourage all these young filmmakers in Utica. I was at MVCC School of Art yesterday. These kids have to go there, watch and learn and stuff, and steal ideas, steal techniques, because these things are really, really good, and they're very, very poignant. And like we left last year, we're still talking about last year's film, so I can't wait for this year. So
and these are all nominated, Oscar nominated.
These are the nominated
this year.
There's one distributor that pulls them all together so that they can be packaged together. Otherwise, you got to go to all different sources to find them. Some of them aren't available online.
I got to tell you, I do appreciate what you guys do. You bring films in that we would not get to see here.
Yeah, thank you. That's our point. That's the point of the series. Yeah, this week we've got a terrific film. Next week we've got The Last Showgirl with Pamela Anderson. We've got Sing Sing coming. We've got Honora, which we got bumped from last Christmas.
That Pamela Anderson, I think she got kind of left. She was left out of the Oscars.
I think she was. I think this is a really
this is
incredible
really good
role for her. She's
and I hate to say, but I almost feel like her past has for some. She was snubbed because of that. I think because everybody's saying this is really. She does an incredible job.
I've only seen clips of it, but it looks like a terrific performance by everyone involved. Jamie Lee Curtis is in there.
Yeah.
She looks
just like Eli Manning getting snubbed from the Hall of Fame.
I got to tell you, it's so amazing when you look at Pamela Anderson and you look at her original look. Because
you still have her in a red bathing suit, don't you?
In the day, I paid attention.
Who doesn't?
In that her original, when she was on Baywatch, she was just a young 19, 20-year-old who was beautiful. Then to the days of craziness where she was with Tommy Lee and all of that. Yeah. And now where she is today, what an amazing... I mean, there are three different looks.
She's got a very serious message that she's trying to get out to people, and her whole empowerment of women with the idea of minimal makeup. She's really blazed a path for herself that's working out for her very well.
Someone that you would not expect to be doing that. Pretty cool. Okay, Paul, anything you want to add?
Yeah, well, we've got lots of film. We're trying to construct a film festival here in Utica, International Film Festival. A couple of people have been calling me, and I'm going to be coming on later, whenever. And so when it happens, but I encourage all the filmmakers out in Utica, in the area, colleges, high schools, start short. Shorts are the best way to do it. It's cheap, they're affordable. Get your message out there. And we're going to be highlighting them. I want to get more films in here, more festivals in here, and I've got some heavyweights behind me. So this is going to be a legit thing. And if we can get that out there, it's going to be fantastic. And it's something to do. I mean, you go out and enjoy the arts. I mean, especially in the wintertime like this. Our festival probably won't be till spring, along with Rick E. Lewis is having a festival in May. And so we want to do that. Get people out there to express yourself on film or video, whatever. It's just it's a great little genre. It's a great little format. So. And people are, once the first frame comes up, you're glued to it, and then all of a sudden, the last frame, everybody's talking about it. So, get your message out there, and who cares? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just saying, if you're into cutting edge film and historic film, but don't forget we've got John Waters coming in to Munson on April 10th for an evening of storytelling and Q&A.
Wow, that'll be cool.
Have you seen any John Waters films?
Yes. Yeah. We just watched one. What was the one with the mom who was the serial killer? Serial Mom. Yeah, we just watched that.
Yeah, we saw that.
Very.
Well, yes.
It was on Netflix for a while.
Yeah.
Well, the one you want to get into is Pink Flamingos, because there's an egg shortage going on here in the United States. This movie's all about eggs. Only kidding. No,
the price of eggs in some cases are like $9 in some of the cities. A dozen eggs for $9.
That's because people are giving them for Valentine's gifts, and they're going to spend $25 billion on it.
That's exactly right.
No more Easter eggs.
21st of this month, MVCC Free Film Festival in the Schaefer Theater. These are the kids' student films, and that's what I'm after. I'm after student films. They don't have to be well-polished professional films. We want more films, because like as Bob said, the more they do, the better they get. So, and you'll see these young directors flourishing at a young age. So it's wonderful. Like the guy I had here, Gabriel Kahani.
Yeah.
He did Benji's Hour. The movie was phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. Blew me away.
That's got to be available sometime soon for streaming, right?
He was making a deal with a streaming service. I don't know if it's finalized yet.
Okay.
But last I spoke with him, end of the year, he was almost done with that negotiation.
Okay. All right.
And I propose bringing him back to Munson, too. So,
yeah.
I mean, if we do that, it's good to see it in a big theater.
Okay. Good stuff. Gentlemen, thank you.
Thanks a lot.
See, the wait was worth it.
Was it?
I was always
I
worth
don't
it.
know.
Yes.
Can we talk? We got 10 more minutes. Can we talk about them?
We're going to talk about the
we
egg.
do not have 10 more.
We will talk about the egg shortage and the price of eggs right now, and this bird flu issue with Ben Simons, Farmer Ben, if you will, coming right up at WIBX.
Every once in a while, something that sounds too good to be true is actually, in fact, true. How would you like up to $4,000 of free windows? And when I say $4,000 of free windows, I mean $4,000 of free windows. No gimmicks or games. You don't have to buy $4,000 to get $4,000 free. You just get up to $4,000 of free windows through Patriot Home Solutions and NYSERDA. Of course, some restrictions apply, but none of these restrictions are income-based, and you don't have to sit through a long, drawn-out sales presentation. Give Patriot a call at 315-401-0440, and they can quickly tell you over the phone if you qualify or how you can get qualified. That's 315-401-0440. These aren't any windows. They're high-quality, custom-fitted windows designed to save energy and keep the cold air out all winter. Your window solution is Patriot Home Solutions. Online at patriothomesolutions.com.
Right now at Wendy's, get 2 of these fave items for just $7. The spicier classic chicken sandwich, Dave's single, or 10-piece nugs. It's an incredible deal, but an insanely difficult choice. Do you go double chicky sando, both spicy and classic, 1 beefy and 1 chicky? Or maybe you go all in on one and go Nug Max. 2 faves for just $7? Gotta be Wendy's.
At participating Wendy's for a limited time only. Select a request 2 for $7 deal to redeem. Not valid in a combo or with saucy nugs. Single item at regular price. Prices may be higher in Alaska and Hawaii.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated in the best hearing aids of 2024 by USA Today, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, just $189.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aids.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 500,000 happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Keeler in the Morning invites you to connect with us through telephonic communication at 315-736-0186 or use the Call Us button on the WIBX 950 app. For additional contact methodologies, please refer to WIBX950.com.
Hello, everyone in Central New York. This is Dave Letterman, your old TV pal. Remember me? I'm supposed to say something witty and funny here about Bill Keeler, but I've got nothing. Ever see a picture of this guy? That's a joke in itself. Anyhow, here's Keeler on WIBX.
Hey, start the new year debt-free and stress-free with GPO Federal Credit Union. Simplify your finances with balance transfer rates as low as 3.99% APR financing for 12 months, or consolidate high-interest loans or cards into one manageable payment with their personal loans. And it doesn't stop there. GPO has partnered with Balance, a program to provide you with free virtual or in-person sessions with financial advisors. Together, you'll create a personalized plan to help you take control of your finances and achieve your goals. Why wait? Let GPO help you start fresh in 2025. Visit their website, gpofcu.com, or visit a branch today. Subject to credit approval, membership eligibility requires rates and terms based on credit worthiness. Balance transfer rates reverts back to normal rate card after the 12th month. Contact GPO for more information. Yeah. And in studio right now is Ben Simons. Ben, good morning.
Good morning, guys. How are you? Wonderful on this snowy morning here on Friday.
I am going down to the busy corner on Genesee Street, and I'm going to sell these eggs for a major profit.
You better take a bodyguard, according to the news media.
Yeah. I don't see us paying the high prices around here.
No. It really isn't. I mean, you see the media, and they show the stores are empty of eggs and everything. And I contribute that to the same thing as when the pandemic started. You couldn't buy paper towels. You couldn't buy toilet paper because there was a shortage. Well, there really wasn't. It's just the media scared everybody. So what they do, instead of buying one package of toilet paper, they were buying 5 or 6.
Yeah.
And I believe the same thing with eggs.
Although I got to tell you, when this happened,
you were one of the ones. You bought a lot.
No, I didn't. No, but I was there the day I went over. It was just before we closed, and everything was going to be shut down.
Yeah.
And I went over to Target, and their entire toilet paper aisle was wiped out. There was nothing there.
Or Clorox.
And I saw this woman.
The Clorox wipes
as I was getting the Clorox wipes became a problem too. But the first thing to go was the toilet paper. And I get into my car. I'm ready to leave. This is Target right here in New Hartford. I see this woman pushing a cart and her man behind her, both pushing carts filled to the top with toilet paper. And
Crazy.
I could not help myself. You pig!
You piece of garbage!
Why don't you share? And
Right.
she had enough toilet paper probably to take her till November.
Go to the doctor if you need that much.
But it's people like that, and then the craze began.
Yes.
And all of a sudden, because everybody, they stocked up.
And so
and you think the same thing is happening with eggs?
I do. I feel it is. There's no question that there's a little bit of a disruption in the production of eggs because of all the chickens that have been killed due to the flu, the bird flu. But at the end of the day, you can go anywhere locally here and buy local eggs. They are creeping up on price because the demand is higher.
Yeah.
So basically, the average price now for local eggs, like I got at Horns last night, was $5 a dozen. But that's not astronomical.
Yeah.
What frustrated me, and I want to say this on the air, what frustrated me was the other night I was watching the regular news, NBC and ABC News or NBC, and they were talking about this Waffle House putting a 50 cent an egg addition to the price of the meal, okay?
Yeah.
That, to me, Ben Simons here in Utica, New York, that's price gouging.
Yeah.
Because think about this for a minute. 50 cents an egg, that comes out to be $6 a dozen surcharge on top of what the regular omelet, what they're already charging. That's ridiculous.
I do think that in the cities there is a problem, and it may be caused by exactly what you're talking about.
Yep.
Groceries are already higher in the city, and that's where you're going to find your $9. L.A., Miami, Chicago, New York. You're going to pay probably $8, $9 for a dozen eggs.
And a normal family that goes in and buys a dozen a week, then they hear an egg shortage. We better buy 2 dozen, which creates.
The reality is eggs can last for a long time.
Correct. As long as you don't wash them.
As long as you don't wash them.
Don't wash them. That's the trick.
Interesting.
You wash an egg.
To be honest, I've never washed an egg.
There you go. And they'll keep. But if you wash the outside of that egg, it doesn't keep as long. I don't know if it removes the wax or the sealant.
But I do think they wash them at the stores. That's the problem.
Oh, they do. And the egg factory or the egg
If you're
farm.
buying from a grocery store, they're washed.
Yes.
But there's a good chance the eggs that you're getting in the grocery store are 3 months old. Maybe they store them for a long time.
The date on the side of the carton says, there's a 3-digit number. That's what day of the year it was.
Here's the other thing. Unwashed, what you're talking about. In Europe, they'll leave eggs right out on the counter. They don't even put them in the refrigerator.
Correct. We do.
Because they're unwashed and they can last. So
they're fresh. But
so you're saying it's not as bad as everybody thinks?
No, the media is blowing it out of proportion. There's no question. And once they start to blow it out of proportion, then the stores up the price, and then people buy 2, 3, 4 dozen where they normally buy 1. But at the end of the day, if you're really, really, truly worried about the bird flu, cook your eggs.
Right.
It does no more than sterilize whatever's inside that egg. And if you bring it up to 165, then you're perfect. You follow me? People that eat raw eggs is the same, what do you want to call it, chance they're taking as eating raw hamburger or raw pork or any of that raw chicken.
By the way,
bring it to 160, 165. You're good to go.
You brought in some ground beef for us.
Oh, my gosh.
A couple of months ago, and
Christmas
I've had it
gift.
in the freezer. And I just did burgers with it the other night. It was unbelievably wonderful.
Thank you.
And loved it. So
that's all
really
pure
cool.
grass-fed right up on Star Hill. And a lot of people drive by my farm. There's always a cow in the road, and they'll swing in the barn and say, hey, Ben, you got a cow in the road? No, I don't. It's 2 things. One is called free-range beef. And the second thing I say to everybody is, it is my bovine police officer. Okay. Bovine road control.
Ben, have a wonderful weekend.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much. And
thank you for having me in to keep agriculture alive.
We have news coming up, top of the hour, followed by Kilmeade. Enjoy the weekend. Be safe out there at WIBX.
From the Stanley Theater Studio, WIBX Utica, Rome. W295EI. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM, a Town Square media station.
A slowdown in hiring. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. And the jobs report just out this morning. Fox Business Network's Lauren Simonetti has the numbers.
143,000 in January, so that is shy of the estimate of 170,000. The unemployment rate edged lower to 4.0%. Expectation was for it to remain flat at 4.1%.
Now, the hiring number last month is less than half the revised higher 307,000 jobs created in December. Speaking of unemployment, nearly 10,000 staffers at the U.S. Agency for International Development will be put out of a job today, forced into administrative leave.
We're not trying to be disruptive to people's personal lives. We're not being punitive here. But this is the only way we've been able to get cooperation from USAID.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio says the U.S. will continue to dole out foreign aid, but the agency has spent out of control. Reuters reports about 600 USAID essential workers will remain. And there's a legal challenge pushing back.
The American Federation of Government Employees and the American Foreign Service Association say the Trump administration's created a global humanitarian crisis, and they're suing to stop what they call unconstitutional and illegal actions. President Trump has said USAID is being led by radical lunatics.
Fox's Jill Nato. Much of the rest of the federal workforce now has until Monday night to consider a Trump buyout offer to resign and be paid through September.